to save the chase for Kyle Busch. Quick repairs on pit road allowed the team a respectable 21st place finish, and now Kyle sits back 7th in the standings, but only 80 points back, and his championship hopes are still alive. Vince?
The 48 team's dominance here has been well documented. And as another Chase crew chief told me earlier today, we're in their playhouse, and that's impossible to ignore. Jimmy Johnson says he's taking nothing for granted, but he is optimistic. That optimism may be bad news for the rest of the Chasers. Dave Burns?
Well, Vince, we have a little changing situation here on the 31 pit box today for Jeff Burton. Right now, making the calls on top of the pit box are race engineer Luke Lambert, car owner Richard Childress, and engineer over on this side, Aaron Johnston. They're up here because Todd Barrier experienced some dizziness during the 10:15 or so chapel service this morning. Todd was taken to a local area hospital for evaluation. The team just received word that they're on their way back here now. Everything checked out okay. Glad Todd is all right, and he'll be rejoining them here on the pit box, Marty.
All right, thanks for the update, Dave. We'll look forward to when Todd gets back to the track. As you take a look at the track facts, if you were with us yesterday for the nationwide race, you know that this surface really played a key role.
Yeah, it sure did. This is an extremely slick racing surface. Not a lot of grip to be had. The tar in the seams makes it difficult to go across. Lack of banking makes it difficult, and they have less downforce with these cars. Have their hands full today.
Yeah, and the wind speed has changed direction completely today. It's about the same velocity, and it's fairly strong, so it's going to be blowing the cars down into turn 3, where all weekend it's been blowing the cars really down into turn 1, so it's going to change it up for them.
And as we come down the backstretch, let's take a look at our onboard cameras. We've already talked to Jamie McMurray. He's in the McDonald's Monopoly Impala. And, of course, Kurt Busch with the Miller Lite Dodge. Denny Hamlin, the FedEx Toyota. Kyle Busch, the M&M's Toyota. Jeff Gordon, the Pepsi Max Chevrolet. Kevin Harvick, the Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet, and Jimmy Johnson, the Lowe's Chevrolet, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. celebrating his 36th birthday today, the AMP Chevrolet on board. All right, you know about Denny Hamlin going to the rear of this field? It has happened 5 times prior. This is the 6th time he is going to start in the back. If you're a Denny Hamlin fan, you don't want to hear the statistic we're about to roll out for you, because when he has come from this far back in the field, his best finish ever, 24th. Back in July at Daytona. He is going to have to do a lot better than that, or his chase hopes are going to take a serious dent today, guys.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more than that. It looked like yesterday in practice, though, he had a pretty good race car. So I think that they might have brought it. They said they brought their Richmond car here. Maybe it's got downforce, and that'll benefit them here today.
Well, maybe that's why they've been slow up till now. You know, they didn't qualify well, and then had a little problem with the transmission. But he seemed to be fairly confident that he could work his way back up.
Well, the pace lights are out on the pace car, and so that means we'll be going green next time by, as this seems to be a little bit slower than usual. We're usually getting ready to go green by now, as Jimmy Johnson has not swept at the racetrack that we have visited twice this year. He swept both races at least one track in 7 of the 8 seasons. And, of course, he was the winner here back in February. So, obviously, a chance to keep that string going.
Yeah, and watch them today. I watched them in practice yesterday. I wasn't totally confident that they had their race car figured out in a longer run situation. There were other cars that I watched, including his teammate, the 24 of Jeff Gordon, looked to be quite a bit better in a 10 to 12, 15 lap run.
You think the Fords are got the best shot at taking them down?
I think they do. Matt Kenseth qualified up front. That's you know, a good sign for that team. He's great here. His teammate Greg Biffle won last week on the same tire. I think they got, you know, this new engine combination is working great for him. So this could be a really good race for the Roush cars.
Well, little history. Back on October 10th of 1901, Henry Ford won his first and only race in a car named Sweepstakes on that day. It was just a 10-lap event, but the notoriety led to the Ford Motor Company, people investing, and look where we are today. So maybe it is a Ford day. Get ready now, though, because we've got on the front row Jamie McMurray, Elliott Sadler.
Look where he is on the front row.
And he has taken the high side. Yes, sir. So he has chosen the outside line. If you were with us yesterday, Kyle Busch was running down low so well, he kept picking the inside on all the restarts. Waiting for the pace car to pull down. Here he comes. Listen to the crowd. On the flag stand, waving the flag, will be actress Sharon Stone. She'll be giving the green flag. I don't think the guys will be waving to her as she waves to them, though. Here they come down. There she is on the left side of your screen, and the 4th race of the chase is green. 3 wide on the pre-race show and countdown. We've already seen it.
Matt Kenseth got a great start. He passed Elliott Sadler before they could get down into turn 1. Montoya, a nice run on the high side, but Jamie McMurray's able to keep the lead down into 3.
He may not want to keep the lead going across the stripe because there's a stat that's going to come up. Driver leading lap number 1's never gone on to win here at Auto Club Speedway. But it is going to be Jamie leading at lap number 1 with Juan Pablo Montoya. And then Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, Elliott Sadler, Truex, Johnson, Biffle, Earnhardt, Logano. That's your top 10.
Well, Matt Kenseth looking racy early. Kind of uncharacteristic of Matt. Usually you see him kind of make his way up during the race.
Yeah, we don't see him start up front that much, but he's had a great weekend. His car looked really good in practice yesterday.
He came up right in front of Montoya coming off turn 2, though.
And Montoya's going underneath him now and trying to take over that second spot.
Yeah, that's the thing about running that bottom side. If you run down there, your car's really going to push on the exit of the corner. Sometimes you have to crack that throttle just a little bit. Whoa, Montoya.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson. Whoa, he's got to dive to the inside to get underneath Elliott Sadler. Sadler's going in the wrong direction right now. Greg Biffle right behind the 48. That's Martin Truex down low.
See what great racing this racetrack provides with it being so wide, and you can just run these cars all over. Choose your lane, bottom, top, middle, wherever you want to go. See a lot of debris on the racetrack back there.
Yeah, a lot of paper flying around. Don't know the exact reason why. As there you see the top 3 going through, and there's Matt Kenseth trying to take over that second spot again from the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya.
Well, they're fighting like it's the last lap instead of lap 3.
Well, they have opened up about a second over 4th place, Casey Kane, and now Jimmy Johnson. He's side by side with Kane for that position. Jimmy's got the low line. Will he be able to clear him as he comes out of 2? Looks like the answer is going to be yes. So move Johnson up to 4th, Kane 5th, Sadler's now 5th with Biffle in the 7th spot. There's Joey Logano taking a look on the inside of Martin Truex Jr. A little further back, Jeff Burton. He's going underneath Kyle Busch. And the 13 follows with Casey Mears. Kyle, of course, won yesterday's nationwide race, looking for his 5th career weekend sweep, which would give him an all-time record if he could pull it off.
You hear us talk about the draft most of the times at Daytona and Talladega, but this is a huge drafting effect that you get at this racetrack. The high speed, you're over 200 miles per hour getting into turn 1, so it's something that you can use, kind of a slingshot effect.
Straight line all the way back until you get past Joey Logano, as he's got some side-by-side action. Let's check in on Denny Hamlin and see how he is doing. He has actually picked up a number of spots. He is up to 28th position. Here he is going underneath Marcus Ambrose, and Kurt Busch, who started ahead of him, is now trying to follow him.
Well, watch those 2 cars in practice yesterday. Denny Hamlin's car looked much better than what Kurt Busch had. Denny looked like that his car was really good on longer runs. Might not have had the total speed for the first 2 or 3 laps that some other cars had, but as they got laps on the tires, his car looked extremely good.
He is our biggest mover so far. He has picked up 15 spots. Sam Hornish Jr., we can tell you, right behind him there, has picked up 11.
And you can see Kurt Busch really working the steering wheel on his car coming out of turn 2. They've just struggled with this race car the entire weekend.
Kevin Harvick had 3 wide for a moment there. He was on the low end. Here he comes up again underneath Ryan Newman. And boy, has Newman been hot the last few races. Battle for 8th, as you can see, with Casey Mears getting a good early run going here for the Geico 13 team. Right behind that group of 3, you see David Rudiman in the 00. David Reagan in the 6, and then there is our first look at Carl Edwards behind Reagan. Casey's going underneath the 29, so all of a sudden he has slipped back a little bit, loses a couple of spots.
You can see Harvick went a little high. He's trying to get that run off the corner. He's got a huge run now. You can see that draft. He's going to push the 13 by Ryan Newman, who's in the 39.
You know, you don't see that dramatic effect of the draft like you see at Talladega, mainly because these engines make about 900 horsepower, make about half of that at Talladega, but it does make a difference. And see Harvick really using it to his advantage.
Let's check in on Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kyle Busch as those two are going after the 12th position on the racetrack right now.
I bet you Junior's working the top. Yep.
What was your first clue?
He likes it up there.
Oh, yeah, always has.
This track here really pays off well if somebody can really get it going up there, because you can use that momentum like right there.
That's where your spotter comes in handy, saying, he's out there.
You have to really be careful as a driver. You're running that bottom side. Your tendency is to need to use up all the racetrack, but you have to be aware that there could be somebody coming in a hurry from that top.
David Rudiman's now side by side with the 39 of Ryan Newman.
Push the fender. Try to arc it a little more. I killed the car.
Uh-oh. He said he killed the car. Report is he may have struck the wall. So Juan Pablo Montoya, let's go back and take a look.
They say he's trying to arc it in a little bit more, but that's in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, the track's just too dirty right now. You see all that dust up there. I mean, they'll probably clean it off later in the race, but it's too dirty to run that high right now.
On board with Jamie McMurray. Watch.
Oh, he gets sideways right there. Has to chase it up. You know, that's the thing. It does pay off to run up on the top as far as momentum, but it is very risky for that kind of thing right there. You just have no room for error.
Well, he's coming off a disappointing 29th finish at Kansas, and you can see he's already dropped back to the 5th position after starting 4th and getting up as high as 2nd here at the Pepsi Max 400 in California. Make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear's Support Our Troops program, and there you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver and enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus and other great prizes. Riding on board with Jeff Gordon, he moved into the top 10 by lap 5. He started 17th, and now he's up to 6th place, guys. He is hauling the mail.
Yeah, this car was really good in that final practice yesterday. He had speed and longevity with this car, so you can see he's moved up to the top side, getting a nice run. Getting ready to move into the top 5 here shortly.
The only car that's picked up more spots has been Denny Hamlin. He's picked up 16. He's 26 now. Now, look at that on the front grille. How could that affect the 48?
Well, here we got a lead change. Matt Kenseth working on Jimmy McMurray, but that piece of paper on that grille could be a problem for him if he doesn't keep an eye on that water temp.
So we're going to have our second leader and our first lead change officially as Matt Kenseth comes across the stripe.
Well, one thing that piece of paper will do for Jimmy is it'll give him some more downforce, a little less drag. It'll run good for a while.
Yeah, it will, but watch for him to go up behind Jamie McMurray here for a lap or two, see if he can turn his fan off and get up there and see if he can get that piece of paper, if they're actually aware, and I'm sure that they are aware of that. Vince?
Well, you hit the nail right on the head, DJ. That's exactly what Crew Chief Chad Knaus is telling Jimmy Johnson. And initially, they had sent the 48 spotter, Earl Barban, down to visit with the 17 spotter to let him know he was going to be coming up looking for a little help in that regard. I think the 17's got thoughts of another nature on his mind as he's going for the lead, but they've also let the 1 know about it. So there you see Jimmy getting right on the back of the 1 trying to get that debris off.
Well, that goes back to what you guys were talking about in the pre-race. They're not going to cut this guy any slack.
No, I can't believe anybody wants to help him. They don't need any help.
Well, they're running nose to tail right now, and it looks like he may have gotten it off.
It may still be there, a piece of it.
We'll have to wait till we get a good shot of it out. No, I think you're right. I think it still is there.
Still there.
Still there.
He'll have to get right next to the bumper of that car to pull that off of there. You see now, you see the turbulent air that's kind of working on that debris.
Look at this mess in the back.
If he's in this mess, he could get it off.
Well, you got the 42 right there, Juan Pablo Montoya, Regan Smith in there as well as Joey Logano, Martin Truex. And there's a bundle of cars. There's Harvick in it also.
Man,
we're going to go 4 wide. Look out. Hope Montoya knows he's out there. Oh,
he knows now.
He does now.
He's in there with a knife at a gunfight because he's got an injured race car, so not very fair for Montoya.
And did you see the move Rudiman puts on? He picks up 2 spots, goes around both those guys. Now, we did have a report that Truex brushed the wall early. That's why he's been falling back. So did Montoya, so that could be part of that problem for both of those cars.
And it won't be the last time we say that today about somebody scraping this wall. You can see they're using up a lot of racetrack, making for great racing. These guys are having to work extremely hard.
Well, and Ryan Newman has fallen back. He's back into the 21st position right now. How about Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer? These guys both need great performances. Boyer's running 5th. Gordon is in the 6th.
Yes, we're going to come in. Let me know. I think it's off. See what your temps do the next 2 laps.
It's like Gordon may have had some debris also on his grill.
Well, we're checking.
I don't see it as obvious as we saw it on Jimmy's.
Yeah, for some reason, this has always been one of the worst places, too, to get wrappers out there and things like that.
It's been this track in Michigan. They're both shaped the same, and that piece of paper is still on Jimmy's grill.
And Jimmy has gotten tucked right up underneath the one car, and it has not.
Well, you know, he really hasn't. He's been trying to race Jamie like he just wants to spot more than he wants that debris off. It must not be running hot.
And now he figures, well, I'll just get as much air to it as I can. I don't need to be following somebody, heating this thing up even more. So he goes on by Jamie.
Yeah, we got 290, 300.
That's not good.
Uh-oh.
Now Chad's got a dilemma. They're running second right now.
Yeah, and he's not catching anybody real quick. He's got Matt Kenseth out there, and that's going to be a pretty tall order to try to catch him to get that debris off. He may end up having to let Jamie back by.
We Chad up there in 3 and 4 against the wall.
Don't know what they were referring to as far as up against the wall.
Now that's how close he needs to be right there.
That would do it.
Biffle on Mark Martin's bumper.
And Biffle and Martin, that's a battle for 8th. In fact, 7th is Casey Kane. Let's get an update, Dave.
Biffle's back to 9th currently, guys, right now. He started 7th, so as Kane almost loses it in front of him, Biffle will go to the inside. I talked to Biffle's crew chief this morning. What indication could Greg give you verbally that you're going to have a good day? And they basically said if he really complains a lot about the race car. Listen to how he was talking around lap 5. If he says we're in trouble, we'll especially have a good day. Right after that radio, Greg said, we're in trouble. We'll keep our eye on it. Greg thinks he's got a problem. Greg Irwin, the crew chief, thinks they might be all right today.
Well, and you got to chuckle as we go 3 wide because we heard that last week at Kansas and he went on to win the race. Boy, Rudeman really charging hard here, trying to get underneath, and does the 20 of Joey Logano.
Yeah, Rudeman's had a good car all weekend. Just got in a bad qualifying effort was his problem there. But you can see passed 2 at one time.
Started 23rd. You move him up to the 16th position. And still trying to move forward even more. Kevin Harvick right there along with the 14 of Tony Stewart. That is a battle for 14th on the track.
See Kevin Harvick really searching around on the racetrack. You see him up towards the middle top part of the racetrack, go around some cars. Now he's got a little clean air. He's gone back to the bottom. Watch Tony Stewart. He's right there kind of in the middle of the racetrack.
Now remember, yesterday in the nationwide race, Harvick through 3 and 4 was constantly at least in the middle of the track, sometimes on the high side. Here he was there down low.
Well, he might not have his car exactly where he wants it for that part of the racetrack, and if he doesn't, there's no sense in taking a chance up there. You can see now he's moving back. He just probably went down there to try it a lap or two to see exactly what he had, if he could pick up a little bit of time while he didn't have anybody right on his bumper or right in front of him.
Down that very rough backstretch, we saw it bounce a number of cars around yesterday, and it's going to do the same today.
Yeah, you can see how he stretched it out there for on Stewart running that higher line.
Well, it gives you an idea how far back they are from race leader Matt Kenseth, a 3-time winner here. But his 3 wins, he always started well outside the top 20. Today, Kenseth out in front. Can he take the win? Back here at the Pepsi Max 400 at California, you're looking at our race leader, and that is Matt Kenseth. He has led a total now of 13 laps. And fans, don't forget, you can win a lot of great prizes during today's race. Just text the word MAX400 to 73774 for your chance to win one of 400 prizes in the 400 miles run today here at California. In second place, about 9/10 of a second back of that race leader, is Jimmy Johnson. Temperature got up to 290 degrees. And Vince, what's the latest you're hearing?
Well, there's no concern with the debris on the front end of that 48 car. They're going to try to suck up to the 09 and get it knocked off there. Here's the radio communication between Jimmy and Chad Canals.
If it gets any hotter, bud, we're probably going to have to pit here. If you want to fall back here, if it gets above 300 and try to get behind that one car again to try to get it off, we can. Let's actually come back to 270 now that I got by the one. Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly good operating temperature there.
Well, there you see Johnson behind that 09 of Bobby Labonte as they came down the backstretch, rubbing right up on the back end there, trying to get that debris off. And just as Jimmy cut down left, Chad told him, no, stay back on it. And you saw Jimmy move back up top before he eventually made that pass. The debris, definitely a bit of concern for Chad Knaus, the crew chief, as the temperature continues to rise on that 48.
It looked like he just moved over to the right. I think it's still a piece on there. I think it's better than it was. And he might need to try that again.
Well, it's definitely at least compressed.
Yeah, it looks smaller, and it's over to the other side.
So I guess they'll keep monitoring the situation, but right now he is certainly not contemplating coming in. As
well, you hear those real high temperatures, and they run a real high pressure system on these cooling systems that will allow that boiling point to get a lot higher than your normal street car, where you run about 15 pounds of pressure. These cars, they'll run up to 3 times that much. So, you know, they know what they're comfortable with, and like Chad said, 300 is probably their upper limit.
Let's go back and check in on the battle for 9th position. As you can see, we got Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Whole bunch of guys in that mix. There's Casey. They're going around. Kevin Conway, he is a lap down. So is Blaney, Quapple, Bobby Labonte. Jason Leffler and Landon Castle have parked it behind the wall. They're the first two to go to the garage. Kyle right now still holding station in that 9th position. You can see he's got a lot of track in front of him. How about if we check in on Elliott Sadler and Mark Martin? They're duking it out for 4th place. Remember when Sadler was falling back?
Yeah, but he's been able to stay up there. He made his way back forward here into the top 5, having a great run today. Elliott was pretty excited about his chances. A newer car for them, really good engine. He was excited. Now, another guy that has to be excited about finally getting up in the top 5, Mark Martin, who's had a struggle most of the year.
Finished 14th last week. Whoa, a wiggle there from Mark. Let's get an update, Dave.
And as he drives toward the front after starting 11th, it's a good run to the front of him. And remember, these are guys that are not in the chase. Talking to Alan Gustafson this morning, our goal really to win. We'll gamble if we have to, but driving to the front like this, they may not need to gamble much.
And while you finish your report, we'll also report that Bobby Labonte has gone behind the wall, and now Joe Nemechek as this side-by-side action continues. You know, 5 of the drivers currently in the top 10 have picked up at least 6 spots since the start of the race. Johnson Boyer, Martin Gordon, and Kyle Busch. And there is Jeff, although once he got to that 6th spot, he sort of has been stuck there.
He's still running really good. He had Clint Boyer he had to deal with, and Clint's got an even better car than Jeff Gordon right now. He's driven up to 3rd. But Gordon's still going forward.
Another guy you see at the top of your screen, Denny Hamlin, he has moved up to the 20th position. He's now picked up 22 spots in his quest to rebound from the transmission change that forced him to start in the rear of this field. Gordon side by side right now with Sadler. This is for the spot, the 5th position on track, and he tucks back in.
Yeah, Elliott's been running pretty much the middle top side of the racetrack. That makes it more difficult for somebody to get by him on the inside.
Well, our race leader is Matt Kenseth. 2nd place, Jimmy Johnson. 7 of the last 9 races here at Auto Club, well, they've been won by Johnson 4, and Kenseth has 3 of them. Several teams short pitting early here at Auto Club Speedway, including 2 in the chase. Tony Stewart, there you see Kevin Harvick going back out onto the racetrack. Martin Truex at the bottom of your screen. And here's Clint Boyer, Vince.
The car loose into the turns for Boyer, but otherwise pretty good. They're going to make a 4-tire change, just a very slight air pressure adjustment, and fill it up with Sunoco fuel. Doc?
Elliott Sadler, who was very tight at the beginning, lost a handful of spots, drove it back up into the top 5 where he's basically hung there. Sadler, 4 tires, air pressure adjustment to loosen the car up. Kyle Busch now making his pit stop. He said his car is good, but it's very, very free in turn 3. They think it may be the wind over there. He is down and away. Vince.
The 17 of Matt Kenseth has been your leader. It's a little loose on the exit of turn 2 and then tight on the entry to turn 3 and tight on exit as well. A 4-tire change and air pressure adjustment for Matt Kenseth, who comes into the day 11th in the chase. Doc.
3-time California winner Jeff Gordon on pit road. He said when he had debris on the front of the car was loose. When the debris got off, the car got very, very tight. He drove from 17th to 6th in 20 laps. Dave.
Jeff Burton tight on the top, loose on the bottom. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment for Jeff and a track bar adjustment right now. Jeff Edmond running in the 12th position. Your pole sitter, Jamie McMurray, is on pit road as well. His car had gone to the tick loose side for McMurray. He had dropped back to 4th. He leaves.
And the 48.
Well, they're going to pull that grill. They're going to pull the debris off the front of that grill on the 48. They're also pulling a spring rubber out of the left rear. Jimmy says he's very tight in the center.
So Jimmy Johnson gets back out onto the racetrack as you saw the guys pull a, and we've got a 42 speeding penalty. Juan Pablo Montoya. Doc, too fast entering?
Yeah, too fast on entry. He was trying to get the car down pit road to try to make up some time. He knew they had to do a lot of work. They had to fix the right front splitter, try to push the splitter back down, and also fix the fender and pull it out. So he had a lot of work. He was trying to push the envelope, and it cost him the pass-through penalty now for the 42.
Well, during this sequence, we also had Jimmy Johnson leading a couple of laps, so he picks up 5 more bonus points, just what the rest of the chase field wanted to hear. Matt Kenseth has cycled through, and he has got the race lead. And our other leader is Jimmy McMurray.
It still hasn't cycled with Matt Kenseth. He hasn't made a pit stop, but or he has made a pit stop.
Yeah.
Okay, he has.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as he
Boyer's come out, cycles back through.
Right, and Boyer is shown 1.8 seconds, and Jimmy Johnson 3 seconds. And here we go, 3 wide, and look out. Burton slides up on Harvick. Harvick almost gets into the 00 of Ruderman, but so far so good. Everybody's still clean. And they're still going to try it. Well, Jeff says, no, we're not going to do this again.
Well, Harvick got down on Jeff Burton's quarter panel, and that slowed him down the straightaway, so he fell back in line.
Burton now tucking up underneath the 00.
Yeah, going to that high side, see if he can make that work. I see.
Teammates rubbing on each other.
Yeah, I don't think Kevin Harvick's too happy with Jeff Burton.
Whoa, trouble for Biffle. The 16. And we have our first caution of the day. And could we have our first engine issue of the day?
Or they talked about it in countdown.
5 of them last time. He was running 8th. And oh, after winning Kansas, their hopes were so high.
Garage.
So you heard the call. Biffle will be heading for the garage. That's Joe Nemechek coming back out. He had gone behind the wall.
Wow.
All right, so now if you are Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards, what are you thinking?
Well, he's thinking, I hope ours last. You know, that's nothing you can do about it. That's got what you've got. So you sit there and run. It's not like you can, backing out of it's not going to do any good. I mean, you can keep it from turning too many RPMs if that happens to be the condition. You can roll out of the throttle, especially down the front straightaway here where you turn the most.
Why have we seen so many engines the last couple of races?
Well, they're pushing the issue. They're trying to make more power, and it's just a fine line on how far you can take it. They're finding out that they're a little over it right now.
Well, it gives us a chance to check in at the Craftsman Tech Garage with Tim Brewer.
Thanks, guys. What we discussed earlier in the show, in the countdown show, what it is, this valve right here. When you over-rev the engine, break the valve spring, what's going to happen? That valve's going to come down, get bent. It's going to go down through the top of that piston. What's going to happen then? All the smoke you've seen coming out the exhaust port, that's a classic example of a drop valve. Guys?
All right, thanks, Tim. And bad news for every fan of Greg Biffle, as he was really hoping to have another banner day and get right back into the thick of the battle.
Yeah, dropped the valve and dropped his chance at a championship pretty much, too. He'll have to take some
look at these pit
circumstances.
stops. We've got a monitor up here. We can look at the pit stop times. And Jimmy Johnson's team did a pretty good job. Not quite as fast as the fastest ones, but lost a spot to Clint Boyer on that round of green flag stops.
Everybody pitted between lap 35 and lap 38. And let's talk about the fastest pit crew of the year award, as the pit crew of the year is currently in the lead, the 24 team of Jeff Gordon. You help determine the standings. Vote from your AT&T phone by texting the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think's the fastest and the most valuable. Let's see who comes. Remember, they just pitted not that many laps ago. And it looks like Casey Kane's going to lead. Also, Kyle Busch is coming in as well. And you can see how windy it is. Our cameraman did not have a late night last night, I promise you. This is getting brisker as the day goes on, in fact. Jamie?
And the wind definitely affecting the 29 of Kevin Harvick. He says it's just plowing up off the corner now. So they came in right side, you saw there, track bar and air pressure, Doc.
Kyle Busch, just 2 right side tires only. He said his car had been snug on top and loose on the bottom. They were trying to get the air pressures right, so a good opportunity to come back in and change those right side tires.
Denny Hamlin also in. Remember, he was working his way up through until the first round of pit stops, and we'll wait and see where he comes back out into this field.
I want to watch these cars that got 2 tires. This, to me, has never been a racetrack that 2 tires is a really good idea, especially at this point in time of the race. We'll have to see how this works. We saw Hamlin, then 31 of Jeff Burton. They went ahead and took 4. I believe if you were coming down pit road, 4 tires is the way to go.
Well, Kyle has 6 laps on the left side. Does that make a difference?
Well, that's the thing. They don't have a lot of laps on the left, so that might be one thing. One of their decisions there is just to go ahead and try it now.
Well, let's go over the wall with Anwar as he takes care of business on David Gilliland's car, who's going to get the lucky dog.
Go here, execute the deal. Whoa, he don't be shot. We gotta keep our calm during the whole deal. We're overheating. Ah! Make sure I wipe the grill really good. Oh yeah. Wipe the grill.
Ultimately, you think happened inside that motor chamber?
Well, I'm not sure. You know, the guys have been working really hard on our durability, and something broke in the bottom end of the engine, you know, because it came out the bottom. So, and no indication, you know, the thing ran strong right until it broke. So that eliminates probably valve train or anything like that. So don't really know what happened. Had good oil pressure. Temperature seemed to be good, just unexpected. So it's unfortunate for us. You know, it was this was our opportunity to get back in the chase, and, you know, it doesn't look like that'll happen.
Yeah, he kind of summed it up right there. Chase chances very slim now, guys.
He's over 200 points back as it stands right now. It's the second engine problem in 2010 for Roush Fenway. It is both by Biffle's car. Let's listen in on the 29. Remember that 3 wide we had earlier with Burton and Rudeman?
Billy, why don't you ask that 31 to give me some room? He about pinched me up into the 00 again. So a little room would be appreciated one of these weeks.
We're back to green flag racing, and boy, here we go. 4 wide, look down low. Hang on, that was David Reagan, and he actually made it work. He picked up a spot.
4 wide, still there.
It's still 4 wide. Further back, you're right. We have 5 abreast. Now they're getting a little more calm. It's only 3 wide.
They know right now the tires are the best. They need to make as much time as they possibly can.
Now look at Boyer.
Boyer down low, and let's reset it for you right now. Matt Kenseth is your race leader. You're on board with Jimmy Johnson. He's shown in 4th place behind Gordon and Boyer.
Man, look at Gordon.
Look out.
Jimmy, too. Look at this.
Gordon's
Right
going for the lead, and he gets it. So pick up 5 bonus points for the 24, and we're still 3 wide. Boyer's on the low end. The meat in this sandwich is the 48. And Jimmy pulls ahead of both of them. Look back further. Here comes Kyle Busch looking outside. And even further back, you got Scott Speed way back in the 82. Kyle side by side as he goes through the corner with the 39 of Newman. Here goes the 48 for the race lead. Around Gordon, Kenseth is following, so Jeff only gets to lead 1 lap. And Johnson goes back in the lead, and look at it, 4 wide behind them.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin back there 4 wide. He was down on the apron trying to make a pass in turn 3.
Hamlin in 18th position right now. Remember, he started dead last in this field.
Yeah, but he put 4 tires on. I like that call.
Again, further back as everything's gone single file in about the first 6 or 7 positions. But here is where you get it real interesting. There's Hamlin right behind Harvick as they go through, and Burton a few cars back down on the low line. Look at Hamlin, 4 below the line. None of these guys trying to waste any time. Let's go 4 wide again. Burton's giving everybody plenty of room. Look at the push coming from behind from Rudeman on Kurt Busch.
Yeah, and Jeff Burton was hoping he might get a push from Tony Stewart. Tony decided to pull out and try to make the pass.
Still got 3 wide. Here we go in another group as the battle for seconds heating up as Kyle Busch is running towards the front.
Well, that 2-tire call was definitely the right thing by Dave Rogers. Because they put him out in front of the cars that got tires, even the ones that got 4, but he had that track position. Man, he is going to the front.
He restarted 12th, and look at this. He has already shot up to the 2nd position as he gets around Gore. Here comes Kenseth around the 24, and Mark Martin as well.
Well, those 2 tires, and that was a call that was made by Kyle Busch as he came down pit road. Dave Rogers wanted to put on 4, we were told. Kyle Busch said, I want 2, and that was the right thing to do so far.
And Kyle going right back to the bottom of the racetrack like he did yesterday in the nationwide victory. Here comes Mark Martin looking alongside of his former teammate when they used to race both for Jack Roush. Matt Kenseth, they're side by side down the backstretch. Just like last week, you see Kyle put 2 wheels behind, but just like last week, Mark Martin's got himself a good-looking race car. Finished 14th last week at Kansas. He gets ahead. Got a report that Brad Keselowski has hit the wall.
Touched the wall, pretty good. Toe's okay.
Says the toe is okay.
As long as he doesn't have a tire rub, looks like it might just be cosmetic.
Oh, man, he gets out of shape completely here. Yeah, that's pretty good contact.
It's back about 11th and 12th right there because that's where Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, that whole group is running. There's your race leader, Jimmy Johnson. Right behind him is Kyle Busch, followed by Mark Martin, Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, and Boyer running in 6th.
It looks like that car is just glued to the bottom of the track. Kyle Busch.
Certainly was there yesterday. As we come across, we'll complete now lap 51.
Mark sure is racy, though. He's staying right with him.
So we're a quarter of the way through the race. We've had a total of 4 leaders, 5 lead changes, and 1 caution so far. As here comes Kyle looking for the race lead. Down the backstretch, out of turn 2. He tucks back in. And it allows Mark Martin to pull up.
Yeah, Kyle Busch knows the only way to gain any points is to beat that 48.
Mark's going to follow Kyle this time, down on that low line. Can it pay dividends for both of them? Here we go as he slides up. He pulls back in behind the 48.
Not sure Mark Martin's not going to be able to take the lead.
There's your top 3. They've opened up about a second over 4th place Jeff Gordon.
Goes Kyle trying to see if he can put a slide job on Jimmy Johnson out of turn 2 if he can get enough room.
And Mark looks like he'd like to break it up. Well, can't do it.
Kyle could have made the pass if Mark Martin would have followed him, but that's not his teammate.
Uh-oh. Looks like he was going to turn left on him there, but I guess he knows how low.
He knew where Kyle was going to the apron.
Yeah. Here we go.
Caution's out, back or down.
Caution's out. We got a problem out on the racetrack. Marcus Ambrose looks like that right front is down.
Take it easy. Don't tear the fenders off. You got some flat tires there.
So here on lap number 54.
He's got more than 1 flat tire.
Marcus was running in 31st position.
Now we're going to go a lap down here.
Yeah.
I've got 4 flats. Car's a joke. We're going to go back on those changes. Do it another way. I cannot drive it.
He was about to go a lap down even before this. He was the last car on the lead lap.
Probably just trying to fight this car. See right there, he just gets, oh man, just snapped around on him. See the tires blowing out.
They blow. Well, he was able to keep it off the wall, and it hasn't shredded. As you can see, he's still got all the fenders, but as he said, he will go 1 lap down.
Should see all the leaders on pit road this time.
Yeah, everybody in the top 7 last pitted between lap 36 and lap 42, and here we are working lap 54. Kyle Busch's crew getting ready. Jimmy Johnson's 48 team on the wall.
Ambrose is on pit road now. The problem he might have, they might come close to getting out, but he's going to have a lot of cars coming by him.
All right, fellas, here we come. Pit road speed.
All right, let's see. We talked about pit stops being so important. Vince Welch, it's yours.
Here comes your leader, Jimmy Johnson, heading for his pit box. Jimmy says it's a little free off of turn 2, although it feels like it is coming to him as the run progresses. Little free on entry to turn 3, but no major concerns, just 4 tires. Doc.
Kyle Busch said the car was free with 2 tires. Going to be even freer now with 4 tires. So a half a round to wedge in. Air pressure adjustment right rear. 24 car. Jeff Gordon, very, very free. They're going to make a track bar adjustment down just a little bit and 4 tires. Dave.
Place Mark Martin takes 4 tires. No changes to it. He said it's turning well. Please don't change it. What's he going to hold on to? Looks like it's real close between him and Kyle.
Race off pit road. Jimmy Johnson comes out first. Mark Martin and Kyle swap a spot. Look at Paul Menard taking 2 tires. We'll find out if they work now, even better. And he picks up 15 spots. So while they get back on the racetrack, we'll step aside for just a few minutes with Jimmy Johnson, the race leader. He's led a total of 10 laps.
Yeah. Our race reset as we get set to go. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the leader, the only guy not to pit under this caution flag. Highest running chaser is Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy has just slipped up to 2nd spot for this restart because one of the guys who didn't pit just pitted, so that's why you see Jimmy on the front row there inside of the screen. And lowest running chaser will be Greg Biffle, right now shown in 40th and out of the race. And we ask you to go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear is the official tire of NASCAR. Well, everyone except Dale Earnhardt Jr. just stopped and took on some fresh tires under this caution. And I have a feeling the guy at the front of the pack is going to feel a little bit like the Lone Ranger. And not riding off into the sunset at the end of this picture. Because he's going to be the only one out there on the older tires. And Jamie McMurray, way in the back, lost a number of spots on pit road. He had looked like the air hose snagged on the front of the car, and they had to come back around and unhook it before they could go back racing. Speaking of going back racing,
Kyle Busch is going for the lead early. Oh, and problems for the 99, the second round Fenway car. Carl Edwards coming to a stop in turn 4. He won't even make it to pit in, and the caution is out.
For us. We're stopped.
It's going to be a nightmare getting these cars lined back up. They were about 4 wide all the way back.
The question now is what happened to Edwards? Biffle's already lost an engine. Could the same problem be affecting the 99? Doc, what are you hearing?
Make sure he knows you need a push.
As they were coming to the restart, Carl Edwards said the car has fuel pressure, just not running well. It's sputtering. They were talking about possibly a vapor lock. As you look at Jack Roush there and Bob Osborne, they told Carl, switch to the backup ignition. Maybe that will fix it. He switched it. The car shut off, and there he sits with the caution again. So trouble for another chaser here, Carl Edwards.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if they can diagnose it, get him back out, but he is already going to lose a lap. And this is going to be very costly to their championship hopes.
Any vapor lock's not something you hear a lot about anymore this day and time.
You don't, but I mean, it is a possibility.
I think that there could be a fuel issue, just stuck fuel in.
You hear the team trying to diagnose the situation. What this does to Roush Fenway if they cannot get this car refired, getting back out there quickly.
About water in the fuel, you know.
Their championship hopes take a serious hit. All right, we were talking about what happened to Jamie McMurray, our race pole sitter, and he is well back in the field, shown in 25th right now. Dave, take us back through what happened on the pit stop.
Yeah, Marty, we'll hopefully get a look at the replay here of the 1 car pitting. And this is a situation where, you expect a fairly standard stop as they were going to work on the right side and then finishing up there. The NASCAR official steps into the lower left-hand part of the picture. He watches a tire changer put the wheel back on, and then he starts waving, no, you've missed a lug nut. You'll be penalized if you leave. So crew chief Bono Mannion says, you know what, while we're here, let's put a spring rubber in the left rear. Let's work on the car a little bit more and fix that loose race car, but it cost him a ton of time.
And as we said, Jamie McMurray back in 25th position, and at the beginning of the broadcast, pit stops are showing.
Well, I mean, everybody down there is so competitive, right? I mean, it's just
for all your latest NASCAR information. Let's reset it for you. Kyle Busch is the race leader, our 6th different leader. We've had 7 lead changes. Alongside will be Jimmy Johnson. Kyle's going to take the low line. And it's Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Paul Menard up into 5th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 6th. Newman, Boyer, Denny Hamlin 9th. Matt Kenseth rounds out the top 10. And we're back to green flag racing. Here we go, 3 wide.
Didn't take long.
And 4 wide, even further back. Gordon trying to make it work down low. Johnson gets a great run on the outside. He's going to get back into the lead. Whoa, he gets loose. Newman coming up strong on the inside. Also, Denny Hamlin a little bit further back. There's Hamlin with Tony Stewart in tow.
Well, what a great run Denny Hamlin's made from the back of this pack. Got himself in a position to do extremely well today. Here's a battle for the lead.
Kyle Busch takes a peek, decides better of it. He'll fall back in line. Get ready for him to dive down into 1, though. He's been running that low line. 3 wide back further. There's Tony Stewart going around Hamlin. That's Casey Kane on the high side.
Yeah, looks like Tony's worked on his car and made it a little more racy today. He wasn't very happy with it in practice yesterday.
Going to go 3 wide again. Thought better of it. Casey Kane, number 9, pulls up behind Matt Kenseth. Here comes Hamlin. He wants another piece of the 14, and he's going to get it. He's side by side with him. There's A.J. Allmendinger. First time we've seen him today. Casey Kane on the high side of this, 3 wide again as they come out of 4. Let's get an update on Tony Stewart. Jamie?
Well, they started out way too tight. Then they over-adjusted and made it loose. Now the car is just right. Tony said, this car has come around. I am one happy camper. Dave?
Denny Hamlin's car just a little bit loose right now. Crew Chief Mike Ford told me this morning that we think we have the, if not one of the best cars here today. In practice, it was a matter of learning to work every line, make sure he can go everywhere so he can run where they are not as he comes from the back. Don't forget, he started, there it is, well, restarted 10th. He started the day on 42nd position, so he made up a lot of spots.
The only people he's going to encounter down there on that apron are ones that having real problems going to the garage or something. So he's definitely running where they're not. But I watched this car yesterday in practice and was very impressed with Denny Hamlin and the way this race team went about making this car better throughout the weekend.
Still side by side with Casey Kane. Right behind is Kevin Harvick. He is trying to tuck up and get back into that battle as well. On board with Kevin Harvick. Things have sort of calmed down, at least for the moment. Battle for second. You got Jeff Gordon and Kyle Busch. You'll see the margin from first place, Jimmy Johnson on back. Gordon clears by about, a car length and a half. There's Ryan Newman now as he's rebounded well. Let's get an update on the 99 in the garage, Doc.
They were trying to decipher if it was ignition or fuel. Now, they checked the coil and distributor. They do have spark. Now they think it's going to be the fuel pump, so they're going to change the fuel pump and the fuel cable that goes in the back of the car to the front, and hopefully that will fix the problem. But meanwhile, Carl sitting in the garage or under green on the racetrack.
And right now shown in 36th position. And he is in some serious trouble as far as the points are concerned while this race out on the track continues. Side by side, Mark Martin and the 39 of Ryan Newman. Here we go. Got Joey Logano, Sam Hornish, the 19 of Sadler. High side is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Look out, Marcus Ambrose with Jamie McMurray right on his back bumper.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to be in there. They all handled that extremely well. You see Dale Jr. really fighting this car. Everybody else has a lot fresher tires than what he does.
Yeah, he's back to 27th position. That's how deep this field is right now with the side-by-side racing. Here we are still 3 abreast further back in the field.
I still don't understand the decision not to put tires on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. That kind of would have been a no-brainer, I would think, the way the tires fall off here.
Let's get an update from pit road, Jamie.
Well, you guys are right. You can imagine the driver wasn't too happy. Dale Earnhardt Jr. kind of going back and forth with Lance McGrew as crew chief, thinking that was the wrong decision to stay out. They thought, hey, we had 6 laps on these tires. But guys, he dropped like a rock, like you said, restarted 6 all the way back, and he continues to fall back. Marty.
Sam Hornish Jr. right in front of him. He is running 27th right now on the racetrack.
There's some tracks you can get away with that, but this is not one of them. Tires fall off way too much during the run to stay out there, even with 6 laps on them.
It's not the way he wants to celebrate his 36th birthday. Here we go. Battle for ninth with Paul Menard, who's had some great runs lately. The 9 of Casey Kane up high. Kevin Harvick trying to follow the 98. And on the right side of your screen, there is Denny Hamlin, along with David Rudiman and A.J. Allmendinger. A nice 5-car freight train.
Yeah, it looks like 2 tires might make work if you don't have a lot of laps on the left side. So Paul Menard in that 98. You see Mark Martin now trying to take that second spot away from Jeff Gordon, and does.
Yeah, I was going to say trying. I think he has.
Hendrick
He's got
cars
it.
1, 2, 3 here.
So Team Hendrick really doing well right at this moment.
The 48 here.
In fact, Chevrolet doing real well. They've got the top 4 position with Ryan Newman running in 4th. A Toyota with Kyle Busch in 5th. Boyer, Kenseth, Stewart, Menard, and Harvick round out your top 10. There is Hendrick Motorsports and Dale Jr. after that decision to stay out. Now he's back to 28th position. Things starting to spread out a little bit amongst that group. And the Roush Fenway team, right now Kenseth is really holding the battle. And there he is coming up on Clint Boyer, and that is for the 6th spot on the racetrack.
After seeing those teammates have problems, you got to think the 17 teams wait for the other shoe to drop.
Boyer trying to come back with the momentum. Well, we talked about if you see one car have a problem and then all of a sudden 2, what are you thinking? Well, let's listen in on Matt Kenseth radio.
Yeah, I'm down to 230 now that I'm not pushing the motor. I'm under yellow, so I don't know. It just keeps getting hotter when you run hard under green. Kind of has me slightly concerned, I guess, so just want to make sure we're conservative with the 16 having a problem. I mean, I hate to be the guy to say this, but if you think we're going to have a problem all day, you need to think about that before all the 16 guys leave.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You see, like you say, you see those teammates have problems, and it really makes you worry. You know, for Matt Kenseth, he just has a job to do out there. He's just going to race as hard as he can. But sit on that pit box, I can tell you, it'd make you nervous.
Well, Roush and Hendrick have combined for 16 wins in the 20 races here, and Matt has 3 of them. And you see Clint Boyer with Richard Childress Racing's effort right behind him, and that battle still continues.
Look here.
As we go for the battle for the race lead, and all of a sudden here comes Mark Martin.
He's running him down.
Yeah, Mark's running mostly on that bottom side of the racetrack, and he's making that work extremely well.
You can see the gap he has opened up from Jeff Gordon. It's almost a second and a half, and here goes Mark to the low side of the track, side by side with the 48.
Yeah, we talk about all these other guys that love these hot, slick racetracks. Don't forget that Mark Martin made his living over the years doing exactly what he's doing today.
There you see the gap, and while these guys continue, I'll point out that there are 31 cars on the lead lap. We can tell you Carl Edwards has come back out onto the racetrack. He is 14 laps down right now, running in 37th position. This is the battle for the race lead.
I'm away from leading the most laps, but I got to lead too. Let's go get him. We'll get us a couple here.
And I know I said earlier about Jimmy Johnson's car not being that good. And this is what makes them championship caliber like they are, winning 4 championships. Their car was not that good in the practice yesterday, but they're able to take that information that they had through those 2 practice sessions and put it to good use. And this is what you get when you sit down and make all of that happen. A car capable of winning today.
Well, as you can see, the 5 of Mark Martin has gotten around the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. So we're going to have another leader and another lead change here after lap 74 of 200. There's your top 5 at the Pepsi Max 400 at California. Run to the front for the 5 of Mark Martin. Fans of the 5 car are all standing up and cheering all around the country because it has been a rough season for the 51-year-old. Right now he is out in front, coming off that 14th place run last week at Kansas, and his lead is now up to 1.2 seconds over perennial California winner Jimmy Johnson. Then you got to drop back even further, 3 seconds, to Jeff Gordon in 3rd. Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer have a, well, sort of close battle going on for 4th and 5th. You see Jeff. And then as you peek back just a little bit further, it's Busch, Boyer, and Matt Kenseth. And there they are coming into the screen, and a good run by Kenseth as he has closed the gap on these 2 quickly.
Yeah, he found himself back in the pack a little bit there for that restart, but he's got the handling on this thing pretty good and has run these two cars down.
We're taking the low line, going to try and go underneath the 18 of Busch. All the way down, right on the line with the right side tire, slides back up, and he is going to get the spot. So move Boyer up to the 4th position. And see if Kenseth will try the same maneuver. Got Chevrolet, Toyota, and Ford. And if you're just tuning in at the bottom of the hour, 2 of the Fords of Roush Fenway Racing have had problems. Greg Biffle is out of this race after blowing an engine. Carl Edwards had a problem that put him behind the wall. He is 14 laps down, a fuel issue. He is back out on the track. Here we go with Kenseth taking a peek for 2nd place, or I should say for 5th place, as he gets under Kyle Busch. And he is going to have the spot officially at the line, but here comes Kyle right back on him.
Yeah, Kyle looks like he's struggling with this car a little bit now. He's moved up to the top trying to create some more speed or not slow down any more than he has to, but he's lost a couple of spots. We'll wait this out and work on it a little more.
As you can see, everybody sort of has fallen into single file for right now. Gives us a chance to talk about sprint, bringing you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. Our points leader right now, Jimmy Johnson, and as it stands, Denny Hamlin would fall 62 markers behind. Jeff Gordon would be 63 points behind. Top speed so far of the day by Matt Kenseth, and the number is 204 miles an hour. Yeah, you were talking about Kyle Busch. As we say, more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio. Check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprintcup.com/speed. Saw Kyle again up high. With this track temperature the way it is, a lot of the drivers said you would be very difficult to run the low line, but there's your race leader, Mark Martin, doing just that through turns 3 and 4 here at California. They are Friday at 8 Eastern on ESPN2. And then on Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on ABC, our coverage starts at 7 with NASCAR Countdown, the Sprint Cup Bank of America 500 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As we take a look at Kurt Busch, you see a cycle where he has been running, and it has not been anywhere close to the front. He is running 21st right now. What's the latest you hear, Jamie?
Well, this car has been a disappointment since they unloaded it on Friday, Marty. No speed in the car has been the problem. They get it tight, they get it loose, and it still doesn't go anywhere. The latest from Kurt Busch, he says the front won't turn, then it snaps loose. It just feels like I have cookie sheets under my tires. So the day is not looking any brighter for Kurt Busch, who came into this race 6th in the points.
Well, you see Casey Mears, that is in 4th position right in front of him, as is Joey Logano. And as is Regan Smith. So he's got some work to do just to get around those 3 to try and pick up some more spots. Back up front, Mark Martin. Last time he had a top 10 finish. Well, he's only had 1 in the last 16 races. And boy, what a difference he is feeling right now as he is out in front, has led a total of 15 laps. He is our 7th different leader. And you want to hear a Mark Martin comment that will make all your fans of Mark feel good? Listen to this one.
Leader at the line now. God, it's been a long time. Thank you, guys. It's loose, just like I like it, though. The good kind.
He's talking about the good kind of loose. It is. He's walking the dog on him right now. Yeah, and what you have is a situation that the car doesn't do anything crazy.
Let's go to Jamie. Junior's in.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. and of course we talked about him not being happy they didn't pit on the last round of stops when half the field did. He's extremely loose, so they're going to tighten this car up a little bit, put 4 fresh tires on it for him and fill it up with Sunoco fuel, guys, and hope everything goes their direction today.
Well, he will fall 1 lap down at least for the moment until the pit stop cycles continue, as we're working lap number 90 of 200. Checking in on the battle for 5th, Matt Kenseth and Tony Stewart. This is 10 seconds behind the race lead of Mark Martin.
Yep, Tony Stewart's on the move forward. Just behind them is the 29 car, Kevin Harvick. These two guys have been running pretty hard. They've passed Kyle Busch and moved him back a couple more spots. So see, Tony wants to get into the top 5.
Well, you know, Auto Club Speedway is one of only 3 active tracks that Tony Stewart does not have a win on. The other 2 are Las Vegas and Darlington. You see Kevin Harvick a little bit further back from those 2. Harvick running in the 7th position. Let's get an update on his teammate Jeff Burton. Burton has fallen back to the 27th position. Dave?
Yeah, and the only good news for Jeff Burton right now is that his crew chief Todd Barrier is back on top of the pit box. Remember, Todd left the track earlier today a little bit dizzy, was treated at a local hospital, and has come back here. The problem he has to deal with, stupid loose at the start of this run according to the driver, and then tight at the top, loose at the bottom, and oh, by the way, it's not turning. So a bit of a quandary right now for Barrier to try to fix this 31 for Jeff Burton that had been running near the top 10 at the first part of this race.
Things like that from the driver that make you dizzy again. Andy trying to fix all of that. I don't mean to make light of Todd Barrier. We're glad he's back here and everything's okay, but man, that's just a lot to deal with a race car right there.
They've really struggled. Last week had a good car for a lot of the race, and at the end just faded, kind of like he has just recently.
Looking at the battle right now between Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer. That is for 3rd on the racetrack. Boyer's the only driver in the top 6 right now that has not won here at Auto Club Speedway. We always keep talking about the cream rising to the top. The guys that have been good here are good again. You see them coming across the stripe. Good crowd here today at Auto Club Speedway. Beautiful day. It has been a beautiful weekend. There's the 99 of Carl Edwards back out on track, and Doc, he's running 35th right now.
Marty, what happened to Carl could be a lesson in troubleshooting 101 for a car that will not run. Now, hang with me here. Here's what happened. When the car shut off, they said it's probably electrical or fuel. They got to the garage area. They checked the electrical and said that we have coil, we have ignition, we have spark. What's got to be the fuel pump, right? Well, they changed the fuel pump. Nothing happened. They changed the fuel cable. Nothing happened. They go to back to the front of the car and change the distributor. It fires up, and he pulls back out. Here's the bad news, though. He's 15 laps down in 35th position.
I'll tell you, Doc, I had that exact same thing happen to my car at Pocono when Kenny Schrader was driving, and it is very frustrating. It took us forever, the same thing, to find it. You just don't expect that kind of failure.
See the battle for 8th right there with Ryan Newman. There you have Kyle Busch, also Martin Truex. Denny Hamlin's now decided to come down pit road. Dave?
Marty, he didn't like what happened to his race car on that run. He's fallen back to the 14th position before this round of pit stop started. He has lost grip. The car is tight, and so crew chief Mike Ford says, you know what, those changes we made last time, we'll go back. And that's what they're planning to do. Jeff Burton is on pit road as well, as is Jamie McMurray. For Burton, the 31 car, we had explained that long list of things they've got a problem with, so they'll make adjustments for Jeff Burton. And also the 1 car, McMurray, on pit road. He had a race car which, by his description, was just as loose as before, but better off the corner. So the 1, the 31, and the 11 all on pit road this early, guys.
They're keeping you busy. We're going to spread it around. Here comes Kyle Busch, Casey Kane. Let's send it to Doc.
Kyle Busch says the car is, quote, junk. It will not turn in the corners. It absolutely is so loose right now. They're going to lower the air pressure in all 4 tires, try to make an adjustment. Kyle not only having trouble with his car, he said, how am I having trouble when the 24 and 48 are turning so well? Let's check in on the 9 car. Vince.
Well, that 9 of Casey Kane, you see him pulling off pit lane. He said the problem the whole race, the left front was down too much and was hitting the splitter, so they made an adjustment to help out Casey Kane.
Mark Martin stays out on the track. So does Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. We can tell you Boyer is now in. Vince, he's coming your way.
With Clint Boyer in the 33, just loose all the way around. They're working on rolling the center a little bit better. Going to put on 4 fresh tires, an air pressure adjustment, and a track bar adjustment as well. Jamie?
Tony Stewart said he was getting just a little bit tight in the center and off of 4 tires. They just loosened him up just a touch. Car's been good. He broke into the top 5 right before that pit stop.
Matt Kenseth pulls out right behind Tony Stewart. Also, we can tell you that Ryan Newman has come back out. Kurt Busch is pulling out, and here comes race leader Mark Martin as he has made it halfway down pit road. Let's send it to Dave Burns.
And Marty, that loose that he likes had gone to just a little bit tight by the end of that run. The crew chief Alan Gustafson plans no changes for that 5 car, so they're just going to get it full of Sunoco fuel and put 4 Goodyear tires on that car as Brad Keselowski leaves as well. Vince.
Jimmy Johnson, they're taking a pretty big swing at it, a chassis adjustment. They say they just need to be faster. 4 tires, Doc.
Jeff Gordon loose early, tight late. They're putting the air pressure back in and adding some wedge back. He's away.
Well, Kevin Harvick's going to get a speeding penalty for too fast exiting. We just got the word. So that is going to be costly for him. Just what he did not need in this chase for the Sprint Cup, 4th race of 2010. We are approaching halfway. And you can see that things have sort of calmed down. That's Carl Edwards back on pit road. Remember, he is 15, now 14 laps down. Side by side, that's Brad Keselowski along with Jeff Burton. You see that little stripe on the right side of Burton's car. That can't be good for it.
Now, it looks like he had been against the wall. I didn't see that earlier until he made his pit stop. You could tell he had been against the wall, and maybe that explains why he's struggling so much.
You can see all the tape on the 12. We saw him earlier get into the wall. Burton currently running 28th. Edwards 35th. Biffle is out of this race in 41st. And that's the lowest anybody will have finished if it stays that way in the chase races so far this year. The lowest in 2 of the other prior races was 25th position. David Gilliland is shown as our race leader. There he is in the Taco Bell, as he is running right now 3 seconds ahead of Mark Martin, but he still has a pit stop to make, and he'll be making it soon. Go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Race leader Mark Martin is quickly approaching Kevin Harvick. Harvick trying to stay on the lead lap. Remember, he had to serve a speeding penalty, a pass-through, puts him back in 28th position. There you see Kevin. And, well, he's going to have to pull another one of those magic tricks we've seen so happen. Take a look at our Gillette Pro Glide profile, but first let's get a report from Jamie Little.
Well, Kevin Harvick, you guys started 21st, and of course he's been struggling with that tight end. Early on in the race, he thought it was just the wind, but the wind has died down, and he still has the same problem. However, they've been making air pressure adjustments, and it is working out. But guys, that too fast exiting really hurt this team. Now he has to fight his way all the way back up.
And we've seen him do it so many other times, as you can see on the screen.
This is what he's done all year long. I mean, he's just found a way to get to the front at the right time at the end of the race. And I think he's still got plenty of time. It's still almost over halfway to go.
And look who has caught up to each other. David Rudiman, Kyle Busch. Remember what happened last week at Kansas. And so far, each has given each other plenty of room.
Yeah, Rudiman had called Kyle Busch after this round of pit stops. Came back out. Rudiman looks like he's been adjusting on his car and made it a lot better here.
That is the battle for 7th place on the racetrack. Remember, Rudiman had a good run going last week at Kansas. That's what got him up on the tire, was when Kyle got into him and turned him into the wall. Let's check in on the Hendrick boys. You got the battle for 2nd heating up between Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Gordon's right on top of him.
Yeah, he's been reeling Jimmy in the last few laps.
Stay on the battle on the right side as well. See if Kyle can catch up. Doesn't look like he's going to do it right now on Rudiman. Here goes Jimmy down low on the left side of your screen.
We'll have to see if this was a situation that Jeff Gordon made a really good adjustment to his car, or if Jimmy and his team taking this big swing at theirs have hurt their car.
So give Jeff now up to 2nd place. Bump Johnson back to 3rd.
It's one of the things we saw with Jimmy Johnson early in the season, not be able to really adjust his car and get it better. But last week at Kansas, they did. They worked on it every pit stop and steadily moved their way to the front and got a 2nd place finish. So don't know which Jimmy Johnson team we're going to see today, but so far it's not going exactly the right direction for him.
Yeah, but he's still doing what he needs to do. I mean, he's running 3rd. That still is what you're looking for, consistency up front. David Rudiman, Kyle Busch, they've opened up a little bit of ground between the two of them, Doc.
We all know what happened last week at Kansas. You know, in a Friday of this week, NASCAR had them both sit down in a meeting, and NASCAR talked to both of them. Neither one of them said much to each other. But Friday night here at the Speedway, David Rudiman and Kyle Busch met privately, face to face, to talk it over. And what I'm told happened in that meeting was they talked about how they had raced each other in the past and who had done what and who was wrong. And afterwards, they talked about from now on how they're going to race each other with some semblance of respect. Both seemed that the meeting went very, very well and walked away, which is good news for both of those guys on the racetrack here from here on out.
Thanks for the update, Doc. And Ruderman has really pulled away now. In fact, he's closing on Matt Kenseth. And Kenseth running in the 6th position right now.
Yeah, Ruderman's got this thing going. He's right up against the wall, making a lot of time on these guys right now. So, yeah, and it's good to hear those kind of things. That's the way things have been for a long time. You work it out, but, you know, situation last week, David just had enough on the racetrack, and sometimes you just have to take care of it that way. It was unfortunate for Kyle being in the championship, but they'll move on from here and race hard.
Ruderman has pulled right up on the back bumper of the 17 as they come across the stripe, as we are now well past halfway. 93 laps to go. Ruderman, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say David's last win came at Chicago, a racetrack that not exactly like this, but in the situation it doesn't have a tremendous amount of banking, doesn't have a lot of grip, and those guys worked on their car that night in Chicago, really made it good, and went on and kind of spanked the field the last part of the race. So you can see he's got this car in the win again.
Well, he's trying to get around 3-time winner that spot and take over the 6th position as they come to the stripe. They're still going after each other.
I don't think Matt will impede his progress too much here. Matt's just running high. That's where David was. You see Matt actually probably rolls out just a little bit there. Let's Ruderman have that spot right now.
So move David Ruderman up to 6th, bump Kenseth back to 7th. Whoa, and Ruderman gets loose, and he's still fighting it. And it allows Kenseth to pull right back up on him. And now he moves over, gives Kenseth the high line, going through 3 and 4 again.
See Ruderman's teammate, Martin Truex Jr. sneaking in that picture, too.
A little bit better through the corner that time. So as this battle continues, we're going to step aside for a moment. Matt Kenseth carrying the hopes of Roush Fenway because Greg Biffle's out of this one with a blown engine, and we've documented the problems. Although Carl's back in the race, he's 14 laps down.
5.6-second lead over second place, being erased by the caution flag for debris that comes out at lap 113, just past halfway. From the pit studio with Rusty and Brad, thoughts on what you've seen in the first half of the race so far?
I'm really impressed with the Hendrick guys. I mean, just dominating the top 3 positions right now, but really good to see Mark Martin up there running as well as he's running right now. Reminds me how he ran last year.
Yeah, it is good to see Mark up front again, and you know, I'm keeping an eye on Kyle Busch as we go throughout the day. It's been kind of up and down, but he has maintained at least a top 10 position, and I think he's got a great opportunity if we can get through this last run cleanly to get a good top 5 finish.
Kyle Busch running back in 9th position right now. Remember, was talking about didn't have the front and didn't have the rear, just kind of had no grip at all. And Dave Rogers and company have a chance to get another shot at it. Really, it's warm outside. Hot track conditions today. Temperature pushing 93 degrees, and these guys really fighting the handle on this racetrack. Rusty, you talked about the Hendrick guys having a better grip on it than most, and grip really is the key word.
Yeah, grip is everything. They've really got their cars handling real well. Some of the best handling cars I've seen in a long time at this racetrack, but usually it's one Hendrick car, but now it's all 3 of them, man. But don't forget about Clint Boyer. He's in 4th position. He's been fantastic throughout the day also.
All right, time for the pit crews to shine again. By the way, Kevin Harvick back in 26th place after the speeding penalty on the last stop. So it'll be the Hendrick guys, Martin, Gordon, and Johnson in the top 3 spots, followed by Boyer, Stewart, Ruderman, Truex, Kenseth, Kyle, and Ryan Newman as the field gets set to come to pit road at the conclusion of the 115th lap. Let's head downstairs to Jamie.
And Tony Stewart looking for his first win here at California. Started 22nd. The car has been good. Very minimal changes all day long. That is the call once again here. Air pressure adjustment just to help the free off. 4 tires. They'll fill it up with Sunoco fuel bins.
48 of Jimmy Johnson hit his marks much better this time. They're going to make a wedge adjustment for the second straight stop, trying to help Jimmy get better. Doc?
Jeff Gordon very pumped about his race car. 1.5 rounds of wedge, 2 loose in the middle of the corner. Dave.
Leader Mark Martin says pretty loose, but pretty fast. I'm thinking no changes. They'll change the rubber on the 4 corners. They'll take a windshield, tear off up. Oh, it's a little slow on the left front, and that's going to cost him the lead.
Is it ever? Race off pit road. Mark Martin going to lose 5 spots back to 6th position. And how about Truex Jr.'s crew?
Oh, big pickup. Picked up 4 positions. That team is on fire today. Good looking. Man, they're getting it done.
So Jeff Gordon going to win the race off of pit road on this stop under the 4th caution of the race. And Martin now with a little bit of ground to make up as a little bit of a snag on his pit stop sets him back in traffic for the upcoming restart. It's been an interesting day for chasers as we show you what's happened so far in our Dodge Race Rundown. Jimmie Johnson, little trash on the grill early. Engine was getting warm, but they got a chance to make a pit stop and remove the debris before it became a real problem. Greg Biffle did have a real problem.
Oh, big problem right here. A major blow up out of his FR9 Ford engine. He is, in my mind, Brad, almost out of this chase now.
I agree.
Carl Edwards with some real problems.
Scared the heck out of Carl Edwards after seeing his teammate lose an engine earlier, a few laps earlier. He had some problems on a restart there. Couldn't get it fired. Went behind the wall. They solved the problem, and he's gotten back out onto the track, but I'm sure his heart was racing.
And then a pit road speeding penalty for Kevin Harvick just a little while ago on a lap 96 pit stop. Set Harvick back in traffic and dropped him at the time from 7th to 28th position. Now the latest of the championship guys to have troubles is Kyle Busch. He was 9th at the caution flag. He made a 2nd pit stop under the yellow. Doc, what's up?
Alan, the ventilation hose to the rear gear vibrated off. They had to bring him back down pit road to climb in the back of the car and reattach the hose. Otherwise, the gear would burn up in the back of the car. We'd lose another chaser. So they dodged the bullet here, being able to come back in under yellow.
And that sets Kyle from 9th position back to 28th for this restart, which will come with 82 laps to go. And the new leader, Marty, is Jeff Gordon.
A total of 30 cars on the lead lap, 3 waiver rounds. Kevin Conway, Dave Blaney, Travis Quabble, Lucky Dogs, David Gilliland, and boy, a bunch of great pit stops. The top 10 were under 13 seconds.
Yeah, that's why Mark Martin lost. I mean, you see all these top 5. That's the 5 fastest pit stops on pit road. And Mark Martin's 14.3 lost him 5 spots on, coming out of there. So you see how competitive it is. I remember when a 14.3 was a good stop.
It's Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Martin Truex, Boyer, Ruderman, Martin, Johnson, Kenseth. That's your top 8. Here we go. Good restart for the 24. Here we go, 3 wide again. That's Kenseth on the high side. There's Mark Martin underneath. Martin Truex also. Down the backstretch, going to try maybe 4 wide. Casey Kane's going the lowest. Or Montoya, I should say. Gordon puts 2 wheels down below the line. Boyer's getting around Tony Stewart for 2nd.
Oh, Tony really loose there. Matt Kenseth on his right rear quarter. Matt gave him a little room.
Not much room between the 17 and
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was Tony Stewart saying he's sorry, he didn't mean to do that. So he's sending a message to, hopefully it'll get to Matt, who gave him a little bit of room to keep anything from happening.
That was Elliott Sadler way high coming around through 2.
See Kurt Busch back there sliding that blue deuce around too.
Here comes the 48 of Jimmie Johnson as he has gotten around both Ruderman and Truex. There is Denny Hamlin a little bit further back. No matter where you look on these restarts, here we go again. Another 3 wide. Paul Menard side by side with Truex as they come across the stripe. Menard looking for another top 10 finish. Ruderman looking on the low side, could make it 3 wide again.
Ruderman lost a few spots in that exchange on pit road there, but he's trying to make them back up on the racetrack. Here comes Denny Hamlin down the bottom side too.
Boy, Logano shoots around Kurt Busch, and he's still going forward. Gets around the 39 as well of Newman.
Kurt Busch is still struggling on the track. His pit crew did a fantastic job with that just over 12-second pit stop. Oh, see Hamlin really get loose.
Almost slid up into the 98 of Menard. A little bit further back, there's A.J. Allmendinger. He's trying to get around the 2 as well. Jamie, what's the latest? What are you hearing on the Blue Deuce?
Well, DJ mentioned that the team did a great job, and they did indeed. They actually went down on the track bar, which a lot of these teams didn't make any adjustments back there. But Kurt's saying the car is getting better, the best it has been. And he knows, guys, that a lot of these other chasers are having tough days. So they're just trying to hang on and take home as many points as possible.
A little bit further back, Dale Jr. going around the 29 of Harvick. Jr. getting a little racy again.
Yeah, Harvick got a break with that last caution after that pit road speeding penalty. He was able to stay on the lead lap.
That's 19th and 20th.
Kind of forced his way under Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Reed Sorensen way down low in the 83, and it's getting awfully tight. Kyle Busch says, I'm going to get out of that. He goes to the low side, trying to get under the 83 of Sorensen. Kyle picks up 2.
Yeah, he can make up a lot of spots 2 at a time.
So remember, Kyle started well back, like about 28th. He's up to 20th. On board with Junior.
See him get over on Harvick a little bit. I think they're having a little disagreement over territory here right now. I don't think Harvick was too happy with Junior, but he's gotten out front, moved away now, put a car in between them.
Sam Hornish Jr. also in that mix. That is 4 positions. Sam running on the lead lap in 23rd. There's Allmendinger. He's had a couple of great runs over the last few weeks. Rusty, that old car of yours, that number 2, way up there close to the wall.
Yeah, Marty, I've been watching the 2-car all day long, and I've been really focusing on the left front corner of the splitter. And one thing I've noticed, it's higher than most cars. The car's got more body roll in it than a lot of the other competitors. And he just can't seem to get the car to the bottom of the racetrack. You see him scrape the wall there a little bit. But the splitter is definitely not as low as that car usually is. And I believe that's where the problem is on the 2-car today.
Great observation, Rusty, as he holds off Montoya. Let's go back up front because Jeff Gordon, our 8th different leader, has got a bit of an issue. It's called Clint Boyer. He's coming.
Andy pointed out, we watched Clint Boyer yesterday in the final practice really have a fast race car, Andy, but he was doing all of that yesterday on the top side of the racetrack.
I know. We're watching what he's doing today, and he is running way down there, but it's been working for him.
You saw Jimmy Johnson streak through behind Tony Stewart. They're running 4th and 5th. Mark Martin has gotten himself back up to the 3rd position. A little bit further back, there's Denny Hamlin side by side. Uh-oh, battle for the lead. Here comes Boyer down low. Coming out of 2, and it looks like Boyer may get him.
Now, that's strong right there to be able to hang with somebody that good off the corner from the bottom side. I mean, look, he's still beside of him.
And he's going to take the line away from Jeff a little bit here. He'll get down on that bottom side. You see Jeff get down to him, though, trying to loosen him up a little bit.
Of course, if you were with us during practice and qualifying, we documented the fact that Scott Miller's on the box for Clint for the next 4 races. And doing a fine job right now. He has got Boyer into the race lead officially. So now we have 9 leaders, 13 lead changes here. And there you see the top 3, which has turned out to be a very entertaining race through the first 126 laps because Mark Martin's going side by side with his Hendrick teammate, and he's going to pass him.
Yeah, he's on the march again here. Mark has this car exactly to his liking today. Heard him say earlier, just a little bit loose, but a good loose.
It's a little deja vu, though, from yesterday's nationwide race. Kevin Harvick would get out front, then have a bad pit stop. That's what happened to Mark. Now he's got to fight his way back. There's the top 4. Let's get an update on the race leader, Vince Welch.
Well, the 33 Clint Boyer car's been a little bit loose throughout much of the day today, but they have been working on it, keeping getting it better and better and better. And remember, this is, as Boyer runs with the lead, this is the first race without the regular crew chief Shane Wilson, who's begun to serve his suspension. Scott Miller up on the box today for the 33. The engineers may be in some communication with Shane Wilson back home, but Scott said no communication between he and Shane today. That's just a little bit too many hands in the mix. He wanted to handle it himself, thought that would be the simplest way to go. I'd say so far so good.
Well, Scott has been a winning Cup chief in the past, and right now he's looking to give Richard Childress Racing their first win ever here at Auto Club Speedway in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. They've still got 72 laps to go to seal the deal. It's in-car audio and live race radio. Check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. And there he is, closing on 5th place, Jimmy Johnson. There's 1st and 2nd in your championship points chase. And let's go 3 wide again because Paul Menard's right in the middle of this. Casey Kane down low, Ryan Newman up high.
See, A.J. Allmendinger right in front of this group. He just passed these 3 cars.
Allmendinger running in 10th. On the left side of your screen, we continue to watch Johnson and Hamlin. That's the closest battle we have up front.
Boy, a big adjustment by Mike Ford on this number 11 car for Denny Hamlin. They were back there and dropped back to 14th on that last run, but made an adjustment, said they were going back on what they had done. Now he's on his march forward, and that's the car that he needs to be in front of if he's going to gain points today.
Oh, remember at the beginning of the race, we pointed out that 5 times prior in his career, he started at the back of the field, and his best finish for Denny has been 24th. Right now, he is in 6th and looking good, and that's exactly what he needs to do is get around that 48.
He's made a whole new lane here that, I mean, I've seen some guys run down here, but it is every lap for Denny Hamlin down on the apron in 3 and 4.
And he wants to fill that mirror of the 48 as much as he can right now. We're down to 66 laps to go at this 2-mile oval at Auto Club Speedway. And just a little bit further forward, there you see a look at Jeff Gordon. Gordon running in the 4th position.
And one thing Denny Hamlin's done today is he's been married to the bottom of the racetrack. I know that he's had to move to the middle sometimes to go around traffic on these restarts, but when they've got clear, he's been on the very bottom of the racetrack making it work.
He's going side by side, and he's on that low line. He's got half a car length on the 48. Can he slide up in front of him? The answer is yes.
He's going to. I don't know if he can. Yeah, and that's the one car. He needs to pass everybody out here, obviously, because he wants to win the race. But that's the one car that he needs to pass and send a little bit of a message to. Hey, guys, this isn't going to be easy like you might have thought with us starting in the rear.
Let's get an update on the 48 from Vince Welch.
You know, guys, it's tough enough to be passing cars out on the track. You just saw the 48 and Denny Hamlin going side by side before Hamlin finally got by. But Jimmy Johnson had been running as high as 3rd, and they'd taken a couple of pretty big swings at it, but then they had a problem in the pits on their last stop. They came in 3rd, and they went out 7th, had a lug nut issue. We talked so much about the great stops that have been made, and it definitely wasn't one that the 48 was proud of. You see, Chad Knaus came down off the box, talked to his team, gave them a pretty good blistering on the radio, and then came down and gave them a pep talk. We'll see if they're better the next time through. Caution currently on the track.
And we're waiting for official word as to the reason for the caution. And it will wipe out a 1.3-second lead for Clint Boyer over Mark Martin. And we're getting word that 47 car, Marcus Ambrose, got it turned around a little bit. Yeah, look at the damage on the right rear. Oh, it's shredding now.
Yeah, it's the 2nd spin for him today.
Go back and see where we are here. Oh, yeah. Almost the same spot.
Yeah, he's been fighting that thing all day.
I'm not sure if that right rear tire went flat before or if that was a situation that came from a result of the spin.
Well, Marcus right now 32nd position. He is 1 lap down as this caution came out. So the pace car has gathered up the field, and so now we still are not within the window of being able to make this the last stop.
Oh, no, not quite. It's definitely an opportunity for some teams to leapfrog the field, though.
So the pressure falls back onto those guys standing on the wall now.
Like I said, last time 10 teams had stops under 13 seconds.
So here at the Pepsi Max 400 of California, the cars come down pit road led by Clint Boyer. Let's send it now to Jamie Little.
And Tony Stewart sounded very happy on the radio, says we just need to tighten this thing up a little bit more, bud. So they're going back halfway on the wedge adjustment. 4 tires and fill it up for Tony Stewart. Vince?
The 33 Clint Boyer has been loose much of the day, but on this last run, he said it was a little bit snug, but it still took off better. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment with 4 tires. Doc?
Middle of the screen, Jeff Gordon did not like the car this run, said it was loose everywhere, nothing to lean on in the middle of the corner. Track bar adjustment. Dave on Mark Martin.
Wedge adjustment for Mark Martin, a little tight that run, 4 tires on. Let's see if they can better their 2nd place position when they came in. He has to make a hard turn, and he's not going to be able to.
The race off pit road, Jeff Gordon picks up 2. Mark drops 1, so does Tony Stewart. Everybody taking 4 tires. Truex gains 2, so does Casey Kane. And Clint Boyer comes out right where he went in as the race leader. As we head towards break, take a look at the race off. It was Clint Boyer well ahead of everybody else here at the Pepsi Max 400. Megan Smith, let's talk about quick pit stops. And we have to talk about the 24.
Well, I've never seen this, or I haven't seen it this year since we've been timing pit stops, but this is an extremely fast stop by the 24 team. Pay attention. This is sub 12 seconds. There it is, 11.8.
Get any quicker, those guys will have to work Formula One.
I'm telling you, they just keep moving the bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're bad. We're bad.
Exactly right.
We did it good. You should be proud. It is a tough job down there. There's the Fast Five.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team doing a good job too. They're 12.4. And it's tough down there. Tough to make up spots on guys doing that.
Man, 12.4, and you can only be tied for fifth. Or it's actually tied for third, I guess.
Let's revisit the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. The fastest pit crew is determined by the winner of each race, the pit time, and your vote. Be sure to text the car number to 2258 for your pit crew choice.
And these guys with these dedicated pit crews now, they work extremely hard every day of the week.
The training is incredible. They do all these pit stops, practice in the shop, but they do so much more than that. I mean, all the training, these are true athletes on pit road.
Clint Boyer now going to be starting on the high side with Jeff Gordon alongside. But the one thing we should point out, remember, the penalty has been reduced in the final appeal. The 150 points remain. The cash was dropped by 50,000. The suspension was 4 races instead of 6, and that's why Scott Miller's on the box for the next 4 races. And would it be ironic if Clint Boyer goes on to win this race after winning the first race?
It wouldn't be ironic if he won it by like 60,000 something inch.
Okay, well, the lights now just went out on the pace car as they came back on, so we're going to go one more lap around. Gives us a chance to reset the top 10 for you. It will be Boyer, Gordon, then Martin and Stewart in row 2, then Hamlin and Johnson, and then Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Ryan Newman, and Casey Kane. Let's talk to our in-race reporter, DJ.
Hey, Jamie, I know we're getting ready to go back to green, but been working on your car an awful lot. What you got now?
I don't know. We just have been really loose all day. Had a really good car practice, but just I don't know. We just can't seem to get a handle on it. Then we got back in the traffic, and if you take an average car and put it in the pack, it just doesn't handle very well. So we made a huge swing at it right here. So it's hopefully it'll be a little bit better.
Okay, man, getting ready to go green. We'll follow you up through the pack. Good luck.
McMurray right now in 26th position, and let's show you exactly what happened to him. The lug nut on the right front. And remember, we told you that anybody who's ever led the first lap here has never won, and Jamie did lead lap number 1. Don't know why those things seem to happen, and then here's the stop where they had to go under the hood. So that's why he is back at 26th position. Still on the lead lap, though. We have a total of 31 cars on the lead lap as the pace car brings him around through turn 4, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. As we pointed out, Clint Boyer has taken the high side, and as he brings them down, we wait for the flag. Fans are on their feet here at Auto Club Speedway, and we're racing again with now 59 laps to go.
Tell you what, Jeff Gordon was ready for everything Clint Boyer had right there on that start.
Side by side up front, but 3 wide, 4 wide further back. Joey Logano going in the wrong direction. Ryan Newman right beside him.
And they're going to be 4 wide coming off of here.
Harvick's back in there as well. You can see that. 3 wide. Here comes Kyle Busch. He's got the rockets firing, and he is trying to get past Allmendinger and does. Now underneath the 17 of Kenseth. Look at the high side on the number 2, Kurt Busch car. He gets around Logano.
Logano was running 7th right before that caution came out.
Kyle now side by side with Elliott Sadler. Allmendinger 3 wide with the 98 of Paul Menard and David Rudiman. Rudiman's been in this mix a lot today.
Yeah, Rudiman made a run up well into the top 10. He finds himself back in the middle of a hornet's nest right now.
Oh, Logano shoots way out. He's going to duck underneath the 56 of Truex. 3 wide again. The view from Kyle Busch, and there's cars all around him. Joey slides up, gets a little loose. Here comes Kyle.
You see that draft taking over, though.
Yeah, Logano looked like he got a little bit of a push from the car that's right behind him there.
Yeah, that's Elliott Sadler and Paul Menard right behind him, so that benefited Joey Logano.
Logano now goes to the low side of the track. Did they scrape the wall on that one?
Sadler, if he wasn't scraping, he was close.
There you see Denny Hamlin. He's about the 4th car in your screen, now 3rd, as it's Casey Kane, Mark Martin, and then Denny. There goes Joey with Kyle right behind. Both of them go below the line.
Yeah, I think that was a defensive move by Logano. I'm not sure he really wanted to be down there, but
caution, debris on the racetrack. So it is now our 6th caution of the day, and after several periods of long runs early in this race, we have a back-to-back caution here very quickly. Last one came on lap 137, and we have just completed lap 144.
Well, crew chief, they don't have a lot of laps on the tires.
Well,
I still can't make it from here.
Some of them are going to come down pit road, even though we've only run a few laps.
But the first 2 times, if I remember correctly, it was about 35 laps where we saw people starting to come in.
Yeah, you see, that's a trend we've been seeing is cars coming early.
Is it because the tires are just giving up so much? I mean, we saw in practice
that's exactly
a drop-off of a 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's exactly why they're doing it. I mean, if the tire didn't fall off in speed, they would just stay out there till they needed fuel. But the fact that it does fall off on speed, if they come in early, they can take advantage of those faster lap times those new tires give them for quite a few laps.
So we'll wait to see if there's going to be any takers this time.
I think if we see the guys right up front, they might opt for 2 tires in this situation. 2 tires hasn't been bad with just 5 or 6 laps on the tire.
Yeah, we saw that with Kyle Busch earlier.
You see Jeff Burton coming through the screen. Burton still back in 25th position. He has not been able to recover, as it looks like Tony Stewart was looking, decided against it. So did Casey Kane.
And here they come.
But a little bit further back, Matt Kenseth says, I'll come in.
Yeah, I figured about half the field would come in. Just want to see where that break was going to be.
So Kenseth leads him down. You see Sam Hornish also in, the 43 of Allmendinger. Let's go to Vince.
The 17 of Matt Kenseth just too loose on entry turn 3. They're going to make a 4-tire change. He said it's just been too loose at the start of the run. He doesn't feel like they've been able to stay up with the car so far today in the changing track. Doc?
Elliott Sadler in 4 tires. Again, battling a little bit of loose in and tight in the middle and a little bit of loose off, trying to make minor air pressure adjustments. Elliott, though, having a great run after starting on the front row today. Guys?
And it looks like it's going to be the 77 of Sam Hornish that is first off pit road. And you see the rest of the cars coming through. And Jamie McMurray, he's finally down and back out on the track. Race leader, Clint Bowyer. Just got back to green flag racing with Bowyer and Gordon up front, and again we're 4-5 wide.
Yeah, I gotta believe we're going to see some penalties handed out there. You can't start passing before you cross the start-finish line.
Tony Stewart trying to slide up. He's right behind Bowyer. Here comes Kyle Busch. He slingshots down to the low side. Further back, Regan Smith does the same thing. Busch picks up a couple of spots, gets past Casey Kane, and he's still marching. He's right on the back bumper of the 48, side by side with Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon right in front of Jimmy Johnson. There's your top 5 single file, and that's when it gets a little more interesting. Now Jimmy's going to take a look inside of Jeff. Kyle Busch is going to go with the 48, stays down on the low side.
There goes smoke.
Battle for the lead. Can Tony Stewart take the lead for the first time today? And it looks like he may get it. Look out further back. You got a bunch of blocking going on. Tony manages to get around, takes that front spot. He'll become our 11th official leader at the stripe.
+5, blue.
So it's Stewart, Bowyer, Newman, Gordon, Johnson. That's your top 5. We've had 16 lead changes, 11 different leaders. And look at Ryan Newman now, side by side with Clint Bowyer. A little bit further back, Mark Martin side by side with Jeff Gordon. And here comes Jimmy Johnson following his Hendrick teammate in the 5.
These drivers really searching for grip anywhere that they can right now. Just trying to get a run. We're getting down 50 laps to go now.
3/4 of the way through the race. And you can see side by side again, Jimmie Johnson along with Jeff Gordon. Casey Kane's right behind Jimmy. And now Kane's going to slide underneath, make it 3 wide coming out of 2.
And after they get finished battling this out, they're going to see Matt Kenseth coming. He was 17th on the restart, and he has already caught this group. He's got 4 fresh tires.
And remember, from 17th on back, everybody came in. There is Kenseth as we go back up front. Clint Boyer now down on the low side, still in that 2nd position.
Yeah, Rod Newman had passed him out of turn 2, but Clint was able to get a run back on and get back in between these teammates.
Top 4 trying to check out on 5th place, Casey Kane. Here comes Kyle Busch shooting down low, 3 wide again. Battle for the race lead. Boyer wants it back. Tony's hanging on to it. Here comes Newman. He is tucked up right underneath the 14.
Yeah, he knows where his paycheck comes from.
That's right.
Yeah, Jimmie Johnson back just behind this, lost a couple of spots. He got in a bad position there down into 1.
Johnson has dropped back to 9th while all this is going on. Smoke takes 4 wheels below the line. Boyer follows. Slides back up to the top of the track. There's your side-by-side for 2nd. Here's the group behind them as they go again into turn number 1. Here comes Boyer alongside the 39. Look at how many different lines these guys are able to take. There's Kenseth as he is now getting past the 48, and that would put Kenseth all the way up into the 7th position if he can make the pass stick. But here comes Jimmy right back. Jeff Gordon also in the mix with Kevin Harvick. 4-car battle. They're all looking for 7th spot. All 4 cars in the chase, and here comes Denny Hamlin, so let's make it 5.
Saw Matt Kenseth and Jimmie Johnson almost make contact right there if they didn't.
You can see in that group Elliott Sadler, who along with Kenseth was in to get 4 tires that last time. I have to think that that's going to be a benefit as they get some more laps to run here.
Sadler, you saw him on the high side there. As they come down the long backstretch, there's the top group in single file led by race leader Tony Stewart. But this is where it gets really interesting. Here comes Harvick. He wants to look underneath the 48, and Jimmy slams the door.
See Kenseth right here. He's really making this difficult for Jimmie Johnson to go around. I think this is exactly what we talked about.
Trouble. Kyle Busch. We have a caution on the track, the 7th.
Another engine.
And it is a smoke Coleman.
Motor. I knew it was coming. 5 laps ago, something happened in the intake. I knew it was coming. There you have it.
That's
well,
a heartbreaker.
If anybody wasn't sure that the championship was over, it's certainly over now.
Kyle was about 72 points back of the race or the championship lead at the point that this happened. I disagree with him that it's over, but there's a lot of guys that are running out of toes to shoot.
We talked about how hard this track is on engines. It surely has been today. He's taken out 2 of the championship contenders.
Greg Biffle lost an engine a lot earlier in this race. He is officially or unofficially listed in 41st position.
Carl Edwards had kind of a crazy thing with a distributor. Put him down a bunch of laps.
There's a kaboom, 2nd time today. And Joe Gibbs Racing still, even though they've dominated, winning the last 6 nationwide races here, have never won here in Sprint Cup action. And Kyle, very frustrated. All right, let's check over in the Craftsman Tech Garage with Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Marty. A lot of times after the restarts, you're going to have these problems because when the drivers go through the gears, occasionally what happens, they tag the valve right here. What happens, you got less than 100 thousandths right here between that piston and that valve. And what it does, it goes down and actually tags it. Like he said, he felt something going wrong. And if that valve was bent, the engine probably wasn't performing. And when it come back up to set down on that seat, when it doesn't set down 360 degrees all the way around, it hits at an angle, pops head off that valve, and that's the end of that engine. Guys?
It's the end of the day for the 18, and he was looking for his 5th career double. Winning the nationwide race yesterday is not going to happen today. And as we pointed out, his championship hopes are going to take a big hit. As it stands right now, he would be at least, well, right this moment, 156 points behind. So here we go. 45 laps to go, and Jamie Little, they're coming your way.
Well, Tony Stewart says he's still just a little bit loose, but that was better on the forward bite. He needs a little more side bite. So a little bit of a wedge adjustment like they've been going. 4 tires and fuel. It's been a good points day. They got to keep it up, Vince.
Clint Boyer, your leader in the middle of the screen. He said it's a little tight, some good, some bad. 3 and 4 is good. Hurts him in 1 and 2. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment and a half round out of the left rear. Dave?
Mark Martin gives up 4th position. They're going to put a quarter round of wedge back in because it was a little free. But as Mark says, it's hard to beat these guys. Let's see if they can get any positions on pit road and take care of some of that. 4 tires back on the 5. Here's the race off.
As they come across the stripe, Juan Pablo Montoya takes 2 tires, picks up 18 spots. Look at the logjam coming off. The loser, Casey Kane, as he drops 5. Mears also takes 2. But with 45 laps remaining, we'll have to find out what happens. And you Jeff Gordon fans are not going to want to hear this. Too fast entering. So a penalty for Gordon. And that is going to be a blow to his championship potential. We'll find out how bad when we come back. 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. The NASCAR Nationwide Series next stop will be in Charlotte, presented by Hellman's, Friday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN2. And then on Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Our coverage starts at 7 with NASCAR Countdown. It'll be the Sprint Cup Bank of America 500, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kevin Conway got the wave around as we now have a total of 30 cars on the lead lap. Let's quickly show the contact that was coming out of pit road.
Busy place down there. When all these cars start coming out at the same time, it's pretty wide pit road.
Up the 20 and the 56 right here as they start to exit at the same time. The 98's right there.
It's just not wide enough right there.
And Truex does have some damage right there on the right corner. And
Logano got it from both sides.
Here's Martin saying thank you very little.
Oh, my.
And then he brake checked him.
Yeah, and then that sliding that left front's not
a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Blaney will get the lucky dog, and he gets back on the lead lap. Or I should not say that. He's now 2 laps down. He was 3. Let's get a quick radio of the 24 on Jeff Gordon after the speeding penalty.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I mean, I knew I was right there on the edge, but I didn't think I'd be over.
Well, Gordon, of course, going to go to the tail end of the longest line. As we get back to green flag racing, it'll be Montoya up front. Remember, he only took 2. Stewart, Newman, Boyer, Martin. Look at Jimmy going down low. Here we go, 3 wide again. Kurt Busch is going to follow Johnson.
13 of Casey Mears, another one of those cars that just took 2 tires there. Picked up a lot of spots.
Montoya with Tony Stewart all over him. They come down the backstretch. Further back, you see again 3 wide. Here we're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Boyer wants it.
Stewart wanted a little more there as he drove it down in. There comes Ryan Newman to the middle.
Can he punch his way through there? The air is awfully dirty, especially when you get pinched also. All right, so here we go with another lead change. Our 19th between 12 different drivers. Tony Stewart back out in front. We'll get our answer pretty quickly here on what 2 tires is going to be able to do for you. Ryan Newman on the high side there. Boy, he has had some great runs lately.
Montoya's just been playing catch-up all day after hitting the wall real early in the race, so this is not a bad move for him to try to gain some spots.
Look at the logjam further back. Here we go side by side. Newman, as he finished 9th last week at Kansas, side by side with Mark Martin.
I swear I think I saw grass fly up on that 11 car's left side.
Yeah, he's down there in his own racetrack.
Now, speaking of Mark Martin, you know, he still has led the most laps here, 41. In fact, it's the most laps he's led all season. Right behind him, you got Denny Hamlin. Hamlin wants to try and get around him. Points are points. They're oh so important.
How about fuel, Andy? You going to be able to make it?
It's going to be really, really close.
Hamlin running in the 6th spot. You see a couple of spots behind. There's Jimmy Johnson. That's exactly the way he would like to keep it, but Jimmy's trying to get underneath Casey Kane, and he's going to do it. Kenseth comes down, may have broken up the air just enough. Here comes Kane back on the high side.
Oh, Casey Kane with a big run.
Going to go 3 wide. Hold on to it. Casey wiggles, and here comes Jimmy down low. He's going to get both of them. Casey's going to try back on the high side. Kenseth's going to stay with him, but I don't think it's going to work. And now all of a sudden Denny's going to look in his rear mirror, and he's going to see the 48 coming up on him along with Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick rebounding from that pit road speeding penalty he had earlier under the green flag. Here comes Mark Martin, 3 wide.
We've had 10 speeding penalties today, and you're right, there it is. Newman again trying to come up the middle. That's Montoya on the high side. You saw behind him, Denny goes all the way down, 4 wheels below the line.
Oh, Montoya sideways.
Another killer save. Very good save.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yep. That's unanimous up here. 37 laps to go. You're on board with Hamlin. Get a great idea just how rough this track is. They fly down that backstretch well over 200 miles an hour when you go into the corner side by side. Here comes Newman again underneath the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya. That is for 4th. Hamlin has got Jimmy Johnson on his right side now behind him, and he's trying to get underneath Montoya. Here comes Harvick into the mix.
Yeah, and they're trying to hang Denny Hamlin down there. They've got this draft going. You can see Jimmy Johnson with ease goes by.
You can see just how much air these cars move when they go by that camera. Just makes that camera shake.
Hamlin's hugging the bottom of the racetrack. On board with Harvick.
Well, Hamlin's able to clear Jimmy Johnson down there. Made that work. Here comes Johnson with the run back to the inside. Harvick trying to decide where to go. He's going to go 3 wide.
Down into turn number 3, and they are going to do it. Here comes Harvick. Jimmy thinks better. It looks like he got a little loose.
Yeah, he thought better of it because he didn't have any choice but to get out of the throttle for a second.
Allows Casey Kane to get back up on this group. This group keeps getting a little bit larger every time we go by here. You saw Johnson sort of nudge down on the 29.
Yeah, a lot of side drafting going on there.
But Jimmy goes up high. Casey follows him. It's Hamlin and Harvick down low. Still got a lot of cars side by side, even well deep into the field. Here at the Pepsi Max 400 of California, there is your top 5 with 35 laps to go. Does Tony Stewart finally get his first win here at Auto Club Speedway? Stay with us to find out. A great 3-car battle at the front of the field here at Auto Club Speedway with 31 laps to go. Clint Boyer has gotten around Tony Stewart. Mark Martin is in this mix as well as the laps continue to wind down. And during the break, I mean, these guys were going after each other like it was the 3 laps instead of 30. Here was the first pass by Boyer.
He got a good run off of turn 4. Had those left sides down the apron, gave him a good bite that he needed. Then drive by Tony.
A little bit later, Tony returned the favor, and then where we picked it back up coming out of the break, you see exactly where it is right now. So we've had 20 lead changes, 12 different leaders, and Boyer's starting to open up some ground.
Yeah, I think Mark Martin may have the fastest car of this group. He just can't get by these guys.
While all this is going on, remember that speeding penalty we documented for Jeff Gordon? He is stuck right now in 25th position. That could be very costly for his championship hopes.
You can see from that shot that we saw there, Tony Stewart really working the steering wheel down in the middle of 3 and 4. Comes Jimmy Johnson trying to take that 4th spot from Ryan Newman.
And it looks like he may get it. He's got a nose on the car, and looks like he may have him cleared now. And yes, he does. So move Johnson up into the 4th spot. Newman back to 5th with Harvick running in 6th. And there you see all 3 of them.
Give it to him.
Well, let's update everybody that's been in the chase because it has been an eventful day both up front and in the back of the field. Let's start off with Vince.
Well, the man in front, Clint Boyers, led 27 laps today. Of course, he opened up the chase with the victory, and then that controversial penalty of 150 points. His crew chief, Shane Wilson, not on the box today, serving his first race of suspension. Scott Miller is filling in. It's a brand new car. car in the 33 up front again. It was a little snug on the last stop. They made an adjustment to help him. Jamie?
Well, you see Tony Stewart side by side there with the 5-car Mark Martin, and he gets him there, so he slides back into second position. This morning, his crew chief, Darian Grubb, told me how good Tony Stewart is at managing the seams of this racetrack. That gave him confidence, and so did this car. The car is great right now, Vince.
Well, the 48 of Jimmie Johnson, this is his track. He hasn't been up front most of the day today, but he's starting to creep his way back up there. They lost some spots on an earlier pit stop. They've been working on the car. They've taken a couple of big swings at it. Jimmy has been asked to be tightened up all day long. They finally got it snug, and he said on that last stop, free me up just a tick. Jamie?
What an impressive run for the 29 of Kevin Harvick, who's in 6th right now. Remember, this is his home track. He's never won here before in any series. He had an early pit road speeding violation he overcame, has 2 new pit crew members going over the wall. They're overcoming it. The car is the best it's been, Dave.
Jamie, last week, Denny Hamlin finished 12th and lost the championship lead. This week, he came in on his qualifying lap, as he said, missed the line, was going to start 34th, but then they changed the transmission, and he started 42nd. Steadily worked their way back up and have a race car now that he can race with if he can just get a little bit further forward. Currently running 8th, Vince.
The 17 of Matt Kenseth. Remember, he told us in the pre-race their problem throughout the chase has been the fact they haven't stayed up on the adjustments late in the race. They've really been working on it today, trying to get that car better. It was loose throughout most of the race. They made a big adjustment, then it got tight, so they freed it up a bit on that last stop. Kenseth hoping it's going to be enough. Jamie?
And Kurt Busch, who started 30th, just been in a loss for speed all weekend long, and the car has gotten just a little bit better, but he says it's not terrible. He's had a great attitude on the radio, being very patient with his team, just trying to salvage some points and get out of here alive, Dave.
Jamie, 2 runs ago, Jeff Burton did great on the restart, picked up 5 positions, but as you see, the 31 get really loose there. That's what it has been on this run. Jeff not able to go forward at all because that car is so loose, Doc.
Today's the day that Jeff Gordon and crew chief Steve Letarte thought they would make a run at teammate Jimmie Johnson, both in the point standings and on the racetrack, and they were doing that. From 17th to 6th in the first 20 laps, they were running in the top 5, and with running second when they came down pit road on lap 156, but too fast entering produced a pit road speeding penalty. Gordon had to come back in, is now being shown in the 24. The 99 car now being shown back in 34th spot. That is Carl Edwards. Edwards spent 15 laps in the garage area because the car shut off. They went back, thought it was a fuel issue. Turned out it was an ignition problem. They changed the distributor, and now he is on the racetrack, but some 14 laps down in 34th spot. Marty?
All right, thanks, Doc. Kyle Busch, 35th. He is out of this race. We'll talk to him in a few moments as soon as we catch up with him. Greg Biffle out of this race early. He is listed unofficially in 41st after both those cars blew engines. Back to the action on the track. You've got Newman and Harvick side by side. Harvick trying to get the 5th spot and does get around Newman, but here comes Ryan right back on him. We mentioned the fact we caught up with Kyle Busch, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Kyle Busch, after driving from the back toward the front twice, it suddenly goes away. You said you knew something was happening for 5 laps. What were you feeling?
I wasn't feeling anything. There was just a weird pop off of turn 2 one time when I got to the throttle wide open, and it blew the hood, the back of the hood seal between the hood and the cowl. It blew it up. So I don't know what happened, but I said, well, that didn't sound too good. I'm not sure if it's going to make it the rest of the race, and apparently it didn't. Just real unfortunate for all these guys, and the way we were coming back right there with that run. You know, we finally got some adjustment in the car that made it where it was heading back towards the front, and just blew up.
I know you really wanted this championship. Can you put this disappointment in perspective?
No, not really. I mean, there's on to another year.
All right, Kyle Busch, guys, out of it.
And as it stands right now, he could be 182 points behind as Harvick and Newman continue this battle on the track side by side. And here comes Casey Kane trying to get into the mix as well. So right now at the Pepsi Max 400 at California, we've got 22 laps remaining. Clint Boyer's out front.
in the Pepsi Max 400 at California, and the caution flag is out for the 8th time in the race. There is some debris on the racetrack. We were about to start a discussion. There it is, of fuel to the finish. Now we change that discussion to the money stop for the pit crews.
That's all about the pit crews right now, getting the best stop you possibly can. Just like you said, Alan, I was really concerned about this fuel, but right now Boyer's been dominating this race. Mark Martin right on his heels, and Jimmy Johnson, guys, he's up 32 points to the good right now over Denny Hamlin. But this thing right now, the pit stop, Brad, could change the whole deal.
It sure could change the whole game, but as we see, Jimmy Johnson incrementally starts to creep up, pull away from the field a little bit. Got to keep an eye on that, and this restart will be huge. Are we getting ready to see setups for green-white checkered as we go forward here?
Talked about the pit crews and lost positions on the track. We talked about engines at the start of the day. We've seen a couple of chasers have engine failures. Greg Biffle, Kyle Busch are out. We talked about 3-wide racing and the intensity of the restarts, and we talked about late wrecks. We've had them in the last couple of races here. All of that coming into play as we get set for what will be a crucial set of pit stops.
All day long, the things we talked about in Countdown Show are happening. I mean, the blown motors.
Because we know what we're talking about.
Well,
get on it, man.
It's hot. It's slick. I'm watching these guys slip and slide all over. But what I'm seeing right now is the intensity of all these drivers is really coming up. We've been monitoring their radios. Their voices are high. They're aggravated. They're mad. And they're looking at 17 laps to go, and who's going to make it into victory lane.
As you watch the pit stop coverage and you see the cars in the boxes on the screen, watch the wider shot as well. See if someone takes 2 tires and jumps out into traffic. If someone's willing to roll the dice here, we got 30 cars on the lead lap.
Wow.
Somebody's going to try it.
It's going to be big. I'm telling you. Let's see what happens. These boys come down pit road here.
Don't be surprised if, by the way, it's car 24 who tries it. He's back in 26th position. 16 laps to go. Big moment, Jamie.
It certainly is, Alan. And that last stint, you saw the 14 slip back just a little bit. He said, we're a little loose still, guys, but we're not staying ahead of the track changes. So they're going to make a wedge adjustment, air pressure adjustment, and 4 tires this time around, Vince.
Well, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson and the 33 of Clint Boyer. You see Boyer in the middle, Jimmy up top. Jimmy Johnson says it's better on the short run. They're going to make a 4-tire change. Also 4 tires for Clint. He likes the car. Dave?
A tick 3 by himself. They talked about taking 2, but Mark said, let's take 4. They'll make no adjustments to the race car. The race off pit road critical now as they finish up Mark's work. Here comes everyone. Let's see who wins that race off pit road.
Somebody tried it.
Paul Menard, Reagan Smith.
They tried it, went for the 2 tires. And you see Clint Boyer's team first off the pit lane, though they're going to be 3rd in line for the restart. Mark Martin and Jimmy Johnson, remember 2 of those 3 positions they lost were because of the other strategy. Wow.
Gonna be a great restart. I can't wait.
Go. Hold your breath, pull the belts tight. Great finish coming up.
Race day for your chance to win one of 400 prizes and 400 miles. Toyota and AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Well, the crowd here at Auto Club Speedway has seen a very entertaining race today, filled with great driving, also a number of mistakes. And up front, Paul Menard, Regan Smith, and they took 2 tires. You can see the crew times here.
Yeah, look at that Scott Speed's time, another 11.9, sub 12-second stop.
So, Clint Boyer's in 3rd place. You want to hear an unhappy camper when the yellow came out?
House is out, debris. Where the hell's that at? It's that back straightaway. It's been there the whole damn run.
So Clint.
Yeah, he's not happy about that. He was leading the race, and if I could have run just those last few laps, he thought he had it won, but now he's going to have to race really hard for it.
Dave Blaney gets the lucky dog, and God bless his soul, Carl Edwards took the wave around. He's 13 laps down. He's still out there fighting. Let's reset it for you. It'll be Menard and Smith up front, Boyer and Stewart, then Martin and Johnson, Hamlin and Kane 7th and 8th, Harvick and Kenseth round out your top 10 with Kurt Busch all the way back up to 11th. It's been a long day, but he's knocking on the door for the top 10. Green flag's out. Here we go. 13 laps remaining. Tony Stewart giving Paul Menard a nudge.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson were in the right lane with the way Menard got gone there. But here comes Regan Smith back to the inside. Tony to the high side.
We're going to do 3 wide again. How many times have we said that today? Look at Jimmy split the middle, trying to get around. And he almost gets turned.
That was close. That was close right there.
Casey Kane on the right side dives down low. He's going to pick off a couple of spots. Boyer being one of them. And also the 48. And look at further back. Here we go. Mark Martin in the middle with Kenseth right behind him. Denny Hamlin's right along in that group as well.
See some smoke coming out of one of those.
Somebody's got a rub.
Looks like it might be Kenseth.
Yeah, when I first saw it, made me wonder if it's another engine problem for those guys, but that's not what that is.
No smoke right now on the 17. Speaking of smoke, up front, Tony Stewart trying to go around Regan Smith. A valiant effort for Regan. It was the best thing they could do. That got him up front. Now they'll just try and hold on for as many positions as they can, but obviously
Casey
the two tires are not working.
Big run off of turn 4.
Boy, he is, and he fires around, comes all the way to second. Jimmy Johnson moving to third. Clint Boyer coming around to take over fourth. And further back, here we go with 4 abreast into 1.
They can't make it through here like that.
Look, Kurt Busch gets sideways.
Ruderman's in that mix. Montoya seeing some more smoke. And that is Kenseth's car. So Kenseth is falling back. One of the guys we thought would have a chance to win for the 4th time here.
Quite a bit of
guys, that might be engine.
It might be. It looks like it's coming out of the pipes on the right side. Yep, I believe it is.
Well, he's got 10 more laps to go if he can hang on. Kurt Busch behind him. There's David Ruderman right underneath him. Well, we just heard tire smoke from the spotter.
It may be, because it seems to be running pretty well. Losing a lot of ground right there.
A lot of ground on the straightaway, but that could have just been not getting off the corner very well.
Look at this freight train, though, going by him. I mean, Gordon's getting around him. Kenseth is going in the wrong direction. The smoke continues to pour. Let's get an update from Vince Welch.
Yeah, the spotter came on and told Matt, I think it's just tire rub, and Matt said, no, I think the motor's letting go as he continues to back up.
Dale Jr. has gotten around him. Elliott Sadler going underneath. Now Kenseth giving it a fighting chance. He's going to try back on the high side. Sam Hornish coming around. Hornish having a good day. 19th. How about the battle for second on the left side? Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane. Johnson has second spot. Tony Stewart, Johnson, Kane, Boyer, Harvick. That's your top 5.
Yeah, Johnson might have got by him with just enough time to get to Tony Stewart now.
Can he do it? Make it 4 straight. His 6th overall win here at Auto Club Speedway. Next time by, there'll be 8 laps to go. That's Joey Logano side by side with Ryan Newman. Newman, top 10 finishes in every race of the chase so far. A little bit further behind, guy we've seen a lot of today, David Ruderman, back in the mix. Look at him cut underneath A.J. Allmendinger.
Kurt Busch has worn the paint slam off the right side of that deuce.
It just hit the wall again, and that was at the start-finish line. Ruderman right in front of him there as they continue. That battle is for 12th on the racetrack. David Reagan right in front of the 2. And there's Jeff Gordon. He has fought his way back. Restarted in 25th position. He's now up to 15th.
I thought maybe Gordon would have been one of those cars to maybe try 2 tires to get some of that.
Oh, look out. Trouble here. First big crash of the day. David Reagan and Kurt Busch, and another chase driver in trouble. The 9th caution.
All right, bring it to us. The right side's killed on it.
With 7 laps remaining, our first major incident of the day.
And as you didn't give
I'm gonna park it before I heard something here.
You know, Kurt Busch and any of the drivers will give you that break and tire lets go there. You know, early in the race, but right there, he couldn't give it to him.
Let's go back, take another look.
I'm not sure that David Reagan knew that he was quite up that far. Like I say, you'll catch a break early in the race on that, and drivers will usually let you in line, but it's now getting down to less than 10 to go.
Yeah, and that's where it's up to the driver, because the spotters are up on the roof here. They really don't have a good angle there, so you as a driver have to know that that car is up there and coming. Kurt Busch just had too much of a run there.
Hang on right here.
So today, it has been a bad day for the Busch brothers. Here's from Jeff Gordon's point of view.
Tire stacking up this way. Watch it, right. Get down, get down, get down, get down. Get up. Caution is out. Oh, yeah.
There's David Reagan climbing out. A little on the slow side, but it seems to be okay. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, all having major issues today in the chase for the Sprint Cup. Look at the eyes. Tells you everything.
Yeah, he had battled this race car all day long and had gotten it back to where they were going to have a respectable finish. At one point in the top 10.
So we'll talk about who may come for tires. A little bit of strategy, perhaps. The laps are winding down.
Very interesting twist in circumstances, making a crew chief's decision even harder in the final laps of the Pepsi Max 400. David Reagan's car came to rest at pit out. So NASCAR, to keep the safety workers out of danger and to keep the cars from running through debris, have had to keep pit road closed for a couple of extra laps, shortening the amount of time that fresh tires would be able to help a team. Look at the decisions being made with 29 cars on the lead lap as pit road is opened here. Jeff Gordon has come in. Joey Logano was first in from 11th spot. Doc?
And the reason they made the call for Jeff Gordon to come down, there were 15 cars behind him on the lead lap. If they didn't come and the others did, they would have fresh tires and go right by Jeff in the final 4 laps. They've got to make an adjustment on the car, air pressure-wise. Jeff said the car was getting better, but still not nearly what it needs to be. 2 right side tires. He's away. Dave.
Joey Logano felt they could improve on their race car as well. They will take just 2 tires and get him back out. Martin Truex, Paul Menard in as well.
Well, this is going to set up a very, very short sprint to the finish with an awful lot of cars on the lead lap. The question is, how many sprints to the finish are we going to see? Remember, under NASCAR rules, up to 3 attempts at a green, white checker finish can be made.
Oh, I got a feeling we're going to see one more caution flag at least, guys. I mean, like I'm always talking about the intensity. These drivers are all jacked up right now. 4 laps to go. And Tony Stewart's looking great right now. Johnson's looked good in points, but Brad's a lot of nervous cats out there.
Yeah, without question. And if you're not in the top 10 there, it's a good idea to come down pit road and get your 2 tires. As soon as the flag falls, you got to get as many spots as you possibly can because of that green, white checker possibility coming up. Then you get a chance to get you some more track position. So it's going to be big here, big few laps.
The decision to pit or not to pit. Here was the conversation with Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus.
What do you think, Jimmy? You think we stay out there, bud? Man, I have no idea. If they all come, obviously, and it just depends on how many come. What do you think they're going to do? It's not my job, man. Well, you are. That's your part of the team in there.
I'm thinking Andy Petrie's up there saying, yeah, that is the crew chief's job, but boy, it's a tough one.
Yeah, you'd like to have a little help with him every now and then.
Well, one thing we can point out, Stewart, Johnson, and Boyer are the only chase drivers today that have not had some kind of issue, whether it's been a penalty, a crash, a blown motor. 9 chase drivers with issues. And right up front, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson.
You did say yet, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, anything could happen. Clint Boyer right there. We already pointed out he's led more laps now in the chase races than anybody else.
Well, we've had one time that we've gone 3 green, white checkers and tested that little change. We might get to test it again today.
Well, here's one thing to remember. Of course, next year, this race will not be part of the chase. Bad news for Jimmy Johnson. Probably every other competitor's cheering like crazy.
Yeah, and it's nothing against the track. It's just Jimmy Johnson's so good here. They know that they come here to gain anything if they do, or just try not to lose too much because he is always right at the front. 9 out of 15 times he's been in the top 2 here. That's he's there again.
Won the last 3, has a total of 5 wins. 4 out of the last 6. Let's reset it for you. It will be Stewart, Johnson, Kane, Boyer, Mark Martin. That's your top 5. Then Harvick, Hamlin, Newman, Smith, and David Ruderman rounding out the top 10. Stewart has taken the high side. Lights are out on the pace car. When we come by, 2 laps remaining. 4 miles. Everybody on their feet. Listen to the crowd as they applaud these drivers. What a show they put on today.
Green, 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 green.
David Reagan's been released from the care center, and we are back to green flag racing. And look at Kenseth smoking in the back. Boyer, a little nudge to Stewart. Got him a good push. He's got the lead coming out of turn number 2. And again, we're 5 wide coming out of 2. Can this survive?
So far they have. I don't know how.
Man, I'm telling you.
That's Regan Smith. Remember, Regan's only taken that 2 tires 2 cautions ago, and he's getting swallowed up.
Gordon's got those 2 tires there, trying to go through the middle and gain some spots.
There's Jeff. He's around Regan. Logano coming up behind as well.
There's your white flag.
White flag is out. Tony Stewart looking to pick up another win and make a statement that he's going to be a contender. And Clint Boyer underneath the 48. Coming out of turn number 2. Can Boyer clear him? Boyer's got second. Now Jimmy goes to the high side. Boyer comes down, opens the door. Johnson's got to run.
Jimmy's going to have the momentum right here.
Coming out of turn number 4. For the first time in his career, Tony Stewart is going to win here at Auto Club Speedway. The battle's going to be for second. Stewart takes the checkered flag. Who gets second?
Finally.
Boyer, Johnson, Kane, Newman. Mark Martin comes home in 6th.
Awesome team effort.
Denny Hamlin's 8th. Jeff Gordon all the way to 9th with that 2-tire change. That keeps him in the hunt.
It certainly does. Behind Kane and Newman, it's Mark Martin, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin 8th, Jeff Gordon 9th, David Ruderman rounding out your top 10. So the streak is broken by the 14.
I think that put us up in the top 5 in points too, brother.
It'll give Tony a 5th place position in the championship, but more importantly, he's 107 points behind Jimmy Johnson, who will come out of here with a 36-point lead. You heard Tony come across the line. Finally, he had never won here at Auto Club Speedway. Only 2 tracks remaining on his hit list. Let's go to Jamie Little.
A first-time win at this track, Darian. What sealed the deal for you guys?
Tony Stewart driving that race car. He's an awesome dude. Had a great day. Good team effort. Couldn't be happier.
Happy birthday to you, Marty.
Darian turned 35 on Saturday, and we do wish him a happy birthday. And while we've got a quick moment, while we wait for Tony, another happy birthday to an old friend and your dad. Ned Jarrett's going to be 77 on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Ned. Hope you enjoyed the race today, because these guys put on a show. We'll talk to the race winner when we come back here to Auto Club Speedway. Well, Tony's enjoying this so much because he's never done it here at Auto Club Speedway. He is just finally making the turn to come back down towards victory. He may go down for another pass in front of the crowd. Look at this. Uh-oh. Listen to the crowd.
You think winning ever gets old?
No. It's his 19th start here and his first win. His 39th career win in Sprint Cup action. Vince?
Strong showing from Jimmy Johnson today. Didn't get the win that so many have been accustomed to you achieving here at California, but a strong top 5 finish today. What point was the difference for you in this race today?
Well, I think if it stayed green, this 48 car would have been a victory lane. We're really catching Tony fast on the top side. I just didn't have anything on the bottom down 3 and 4. And on that restart, that's what allowed Clint to get inside of me and get by me. But just a great performance. I mean, good day overall. We certainly want to be in victory lane, but and if you can finish in the top 3 week in and week out, you're going to have a shot come Homestead, and that's all we're after.
Jimmy Johnson keeps that championship lead today. Dave?
And with Clint Boyer now, who finished second. Clint, disappointment because of what you had a few laps back, the lead, or happiness with where you finished?
Both. I mean, it's you know, I'm happy for the Hartford Chevrolet. I'm happy to get things turned around after the last 2 weeks we've had, but I'm frustrated
I want to redeem ourselves. You know, we're a race-winning team, and we needed to go out and prove that last one wasn't a hoax. And you know, the Mitchell caution came out. That piece of debris was back there the whole run, and it's a shame. But I guess I made a better race out of it.
All right, trying to keep a smile on it, Doc.
Back in the garage area with Jeff Gordon. And Jeff, with 20 laps to go, you're 24th, and you finish in the top 10. How did that happen?
Well, I didn't think it was going to happen. We restarted and tried to free the car up because we were back in traffic, but that was definitely not the right thing to do. I was really loose just hanging on, and we were not going forward. Cautions fell right for us. We put 4 tires on, and Steve made some great adjustments, and boom, we just came driving up through there. And then there at the end, he did another great call to get 2 tires. I think we were 5, 6 wide or something off of turn 2. It got really narrow and hairy, and I got behind my teammate Junior, made sure he didn't wreck, pushed him down the back straightaway, and then drove by some more guys through 3 and 4. So that was a good finish. It's totally my fault. You know, I just pushed it on the limit just a little bit too much coming down pit road, and was speeding, you know, and it wasn't by much, but it was enough to make us go to the back of the field. And at that point in the race, I thought we were really done. So great comeback by this entire DuPont Pepsi Max Chevy.
Well, Jeff Gordon finishes 9th, and Marty, they believe they still have a shot at this championship.
Well, as they stand right now, just 85 markers behind Jimmy Johnson. The top 4 are under 100. Let's talk about the ticket to the chase, because here's our next stop, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Log on to NASCAR.com/tickets. After that, we'll visit Martinsville, Talladega, Texas, Phoenix, and round it out at Homestead Miami Speedway. You can dial 866-GO-NASCAR as well. Let's go to Victory Lane. Jamie Little.
All right, Tony Stewart, this is one popular victory. Tony, come on out here, celebrate. Lots of fans, friends, family, sponsors down here. He's getting all collected. This is one popular win, Marty. And Tony Stewart, of course, as you said, won here for the first time in his career. Here he comes, smoke. Tony Stewart climbs from the car. Let the Gatorade spray. And everybody celebrating, getting drenched. Tony Stewart, hard-fought battle, a race car that was tight to loose, but at the end, Tony, how did you beat Jimmy Johnson at his house?
I mean, I knew we were going to have our hands full with him, and thank goodness Clint Boyer got up there and mixed it up and just broke their momentum. But I tell you, this is kind of the best of highs and the lowest of lows this week. We're thinking about Shane Meal and our buddy Eric Saunders. And Irish, I don't know how you knew we were going to win this race, buddy, but he called and told me he told us yesterday we were going to win, and I didn't think we were good enough to do it, but man, they just did an awesome job. And to finally win for Gene and Margaret Haas at home here, this is their home race, and man, just glad to finally win one at California. I can knock that off the list of tracks I haven't won at now.
And Ryan Newman just walked up. Great effort by him today, Tony.